Hello everyone and welcome to Ting Kwong Road Recreation Ground here in Hong Kong, here for the first one-day international between Hong Kong and Papua New Guinea. And Max Abbott here, joined by Scott McKechnie of Hong Kong Cricket Club. And Scott, absolutely perfect conditions here with a rare sunshine for cricket in Hong Kong, which has been interrupted slightly by rain over the course of the year.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Morning all, morning Max. It's it's been a long time coming, this sunshine for Cricket Hong Kong in their quest to get some international cricket in these parts, but a great day today. It looks for a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, and the news is that Hong Kong won the toss and elected to bat first. So we've got Kinshit Shah and Chris Carter, wicketkeeper, out there opening the batting for Hong Kong. And Kinshit Shah, of course, has been in very good form so far in domestic cricket here, Scott, after being left out of the side.
He has. I've been on the receiving end of it, unfortunately. He's moving beautifully at the minute. He, as you say, he was left out the side in the summer to go away and find some form and really get a good understanding of his game, and that's exactly what he's done. He's come back in fine form domestically here in Hong Kong, scoring heavily in the Premier League competition of late, and he's really forced his way back into the side.
And it looks like opening the bowling here for Papua New Guinea is Chad Soper. Actually played against Chad. He plays in the Sydney grade cricket competition for Gordon Club there in Sydney. And opening the bowling here for Papua New Guinea actually got me out. Chad Soper.
He won't be the last, Max. He won't be the last.
He won't. And coming in, looks like it's going to be Chris Carter taking strike. Chris Carter opening the batting, not a role that he's done a lot for Hong Kong before. Is that a surprise?
Not a surprise. He showed outstanding potential. He's learned a lot of his cricket over in Perth, actually, as much as he was born, and he's now located here in Hong Kong. But he's a fantastic talent, technically very good. So this will be a great challenge for him, but one I'm certain that he's earned.
Here we are, the first ball of this three-game, one-day international series about to get underway. Perfect sunshine here in Kowloon City, Mong Kok area. On the Kowloon side of Hong Kong. Here we have first ball from Chad Soper to Chris Carter. Didn't look like a lot of movement there. It's got angled in slightly, if anything.
Yeah, not too much at all. The conditions look outstanding. Obviously, we're reporting from afar, but from what we can see on the screen, from what you guys can see on the screen, you'll see the wicket has a great colour to it. That one's come on beautifully onto the bat first up. I think it's going to be an exciting day of cricket. Maybe a day for the batters. Who knows? Yeah,
I think the pitch might be a little slow from reports here so far this season. It's a little bit of shape there, tiny bit of shape.
A little bit of shape, and they'll be relying on that early on because I think the wicket will flatten out as the innings goes on and the ball gets a little softer on what can be quite an abrasive surface here at Mission Road. So they'll be relying on that early shape to hit the top order of Cricket Hong Kong hard.
And I'd have thought that it's a good toss to win here, I think, to bat first. I mean, Hong Kong got a couple of spinners in the side, which I imagine will come into play later.
A couple of good spinners, yeah. A couple of left-armers who've historically done well. The left-armers being Anshuman Raf. We have a good right-arm off-spinner in Ehsan Khan as well, so plenty of options for Cricket Hong Kong in the spin department. It'll be interesting to see how that comes into play a little bit later on this afternoon.
It looks a good batting wicket, Scott.
It's a good batting wicket. There's some good noises off the bat early on here in the first over. Carter's shaping up nicely against this new ball.
So what sort of players, Chris Carter, Scott, what are we expecting from him to way he's going to go about his innings here?
I think he's a very talented player. Always great to watch Chris. Aesthetically, a fantastic cricketer, shapes up beautifully with the bat and with the gloves. He'll take the gloves today for Cricket Hong Kong.
Nice shot there and well fielded.
Showing good intent early. As you said, a new role for him here at the top of the order, so it'll be interesting for him to see how he attacks this this new ball, and we'll work out pretty quick what his role here is, I'm sure. But a player of immense talent, a very positive player. So it'll be good to see him get underway here.
And that's the end of the first over. A maiden there to start off, despite a few balls coming off nicely, straight to the fielders.
Yeah, good start for
in Hong Kong
PNG.
here, Scott. I mean, it's a ground where you leave wickets in hand till late. The boundaries aren't big. Is that the way to play here in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I think that's quite fair. Here in Hong Kong, space is a little bit difficult to come by in the grounds that we have the opportunity to play on. They're beautiful grounds, but certainly not the biggest in the world. So if we do keep wickets in hand deep into the innings, then there's always scope to catch up or score big towards the end. So that won't take anything away from these boys being very positive at the top. Two very positive cricketers here in Kinchit Shah and Chris Carter, so they'll certainly be looking to lay a strong foundation. Norman Vanua is going to open the bowling. From the other end here for PNG. Bowling at the left-handed Kinchit Shah this time. It'll be good to see how Kinchit shapes up. Let's see if he can carry that run of form into the one-day international series here. Start, great channels from the very beginning from Vanua. Kinchit nice and strong in behind. Not much shape there again, Max. It looks a really good batting wicket, doesn't it?
Yeah, not much grass on it. Walked out there about 20 minutes ago, and it was screaming back first with this sort of sun out. It's about very comfortable 27 degrees out there. A little bit of breeze out there as well, and it really just looks like a batting day. The wicket, I think, a little bit slow, and I guess will only get slower as the day goes on. Nicely timed there from Kinchit Shah. Straight to the fielder again, though. I'm sure Hong Kong will just be keen to get off the mark here, not put themselves under any undue pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. They like what they see so far, though. Again, Kinchit right in behind that ball there on 4th, 5th stump, 27 degrees. Comfortable for you, maybe, Max. For us English, this is not ideal for us, I must say.
Oh, Norman Vanua there just cranking up a fraction. Certainly charges in. This Papua New Guinea team in very good form. They've just recently come off a series whitewash of Namibia, where they beat them in a 4-day Intercontinental Cup match and then won the 2 ICC World Cricket League fixtures. So they are in good form, and I believe certainly in the T20 rankings they're only ranked a place or two apart. So it should be a very close contest, this series.
Yeah, they'll be confident coming into this series. It'll be a great series of Associate Nation cricket. PNG in the form that they are in. But Hong Kong generally quite formidable at home. Not had too much in the way of international cricket here of late, mainly due to the weather and how that has affected proceedings. But I think if you have a look across the last 3 or 4 years or so, Hong Kong in home conditions have been a real force to be reckoned with. So we're in for a great 3-match series.
So still Hong Kong looking to get off the mark here in the second over. And no run scored as yet. Full toss, misses out. So that's 2 maidens in a row. It's none for none.
showing great intent, these two batsmen. Playing very hard, very positive into the ball. It looks like both teams are just trying to work out the conditions. PNG very patient on their lengths and their channels, seeing if there's anything in the wicket and trying to get a feel for the pace. The Hong Kong boys, they understand these conditions. They know it's a little bit slower than some other grounds you would have played on in the past, but still coming into the ball very positive, really playing their shots, which is a good thing to see. Chad Soper to continue here. Strays onto the pads of Carter. Carter misses out. Looks like that early shape we saw in that first over is already starting to disappear. I think the Hong Kong boys would have identified that. Carter looking to get himself going. Very good on that short wide delivery, as most Australians are. But misses out here. Hong Kong remain none for none.
A little bit of pressure here now on the openers. You don't like being on naught after 2 or 3 overs.
You don't. You just feel it building, but I think, again, the Hong Kong boys will know if they take this partnership deep enough, they will flourish.
That's a good shot. So we'll test the outfield. Looks quick enough, Scott. That's 4 runs.
Yeah, it's run away nicely. It's great to see Carter finally get one right out the middle. He's beat the infield, and Cricket Hong Kong on their way for that loss.
Just needed that boundary just to get going. I mean, I know that there's plenty of time. It's not a 2020. It's a one-day international here. But as a batter, you don't like being none for none after 3 overs. You might start pushing at balls you don't need to.
Absolutely. Release the nerves.
Bowled well here, PNG, so far. They've bowled very much stump-to-stump line. Apart from that one, of course, which was just outside the off-stump.
Yeah, they've been good. They've been patient. And I think through these early exchanges, I think patience will be a key part. Doesn't seem to be too much in the wicket or in the air. The Hong Kong batters will know these are good conditions to bat. PNG, they're going to have to be patient and tight on their channels to get a result here.
Over pitches, but Carter can't beat that mid-wicket fieldsman. Liga Siaka there at mid-wicket, who's been busy a couple of times. So there's a few people tuning in, and you can send in your comments here on YouTube, and we'll try and answer them. And well bowled from Chad Soper, experienced bowler, been playing for PNG for a number of years now. Because I do notice on the, if you are checking the scores through Cricinfo, that is Chad Soper. It's on, not as listed on Cricinfo at the moment. That answers your question, Mohan Raj. That was the par score, question for par score today. Scott, from Malhar. What do you reckon at this ground, Scott? What are you looking to score? Hold on a sec.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's always a tough one here in Hong Kong because the wickets are a little bit slower. It's not always as easy to score as it might be in other parts of the world. However, the shorter boundaries and the fast outfields, they more than make up for that. So I think here, 250.
There was a domestic match played here last weekend where 276 were scored and chased in the last over. So perhaps that's a bit of a guide that around 280 is a score, but shot from Kinchit Shah, but you can't beat the fielder. I think, though, with the wicket maybe getting a touch slower this afternoon, I mean, this is a new wicket that they're playing on here today, I would think that, yeah, 250 plus is going to be competitive.
Yeah, I think so. I think with the shorter boundaries, people can feel that these sort of grounds, they can be difficult to defend on, but with the slower wicket, and obviously the Hong Kong bowlers will know these conditions well, I think if they get their plans right and they execute them well, I think it could be quite easy to strangle here.
Flicked by Kinchit Shah.
He's moving well, isn't he, Kinchit? Lots of balls hitting the middle of the bat, but not quite finding the gaps just yet.
See a comment in there about the Ashes winning England keeper Geraint Jones, of course, was born in PNG, but I think he has played a couple of games for them, actually. Scott, you'd know him well from that part of the world.
Yeah, I'm a Kent boy.
Yeah.
That's where I learned my cricket growing up back in the UK. So for me as a wicketkeeper batter as well, Geraint was a big part of my development. It's a touch leg side that, I think, Max.
I'd agree.
But again, you just feel that pressure building, can't you? Just a few dots.
You can see in the screen just before in that shot, a few tents and banners set up. We've got some local school kids coming down around lunchtime today for a cricket clinic. You can just see a couple of banners there in the background on your screen there. It's going to be great to have some of the local Hong Kong Chinese schools coming down for the Junior Cricket Sixes program. And by the Cricket Hong Kong staff, it would be great to see the kids down here. And for a lot of them, I imagine seeing cricket live for the first time, which will be a nice moment for the staff and for the kids. Kinchit forces one through the onside, and the outfield fairly quick. He didn't quite time it. Just short. So 3 runs there to Kinchit Shah.
Yeah, that'll ease the nerves. It looked like a bit of a release in the end, didn't it? He really let his hands go through that ball, but he's done well to squeeze it through the infield. That'll really help with the nerves. He's off the mark.
He loves that onside. Kinchit Shah likes to get the front foot down and flick over mid-wicket, or maybe inside out over extra cover.
Yeah, he does, but he's got a lot of scoring options, Kinchit. He's got a lot of scoring options, and he's worked hard with the Cricket Hong Kong coaches. I know Simon Cook and Trevor Penny in particular, to just expand his scoring options, in particular through those middle overs when the pace is off the ball, but he's developing really well. Oh, we have a no ball.
Yep, got a free hit coming, and Chris Carter will be on the receiving end, so they can't change the field with
Where's he going to go here, Max? Where's he going to go?
Chris Carter. I reckon he might try and step inside and flick over the onside.
Yeah, no men back in front of square, so it's certainly an option.
Oh, he has stepped inside.
Outstanding. I was almost going to call it. He does a lot of his work with Ryan Campbell. Chris Carter plays his cricket at Kowloon Cricket Club, where Ryan is the head coach, and I think it was Ryan who almost invented that scoop. Was it not, Max?
Well, he does claim that, Ryan Campbell. Around town, it's always a key talking point in a conversation with Ryan Campbell is the scoop shot.
Executed beautifully there.
Yeah, no, he actually nailed that, Chris Carter.
And I think an option that carries value here in Hong Kong, the shorter boundaries in particular here at Mission Road tend to be the straighter ones. So in front and behind the batter as opposed to square of the wicket. So those options up and over both sides do really carry value here. It's a great option to have in your locker.
I might actually just try and bring up a replay of that scoop shot. It's an enjoyable one. So it's Chad Soper continuing here. Got a replay here of that. Oh, nailed that cover drive, but straight to the cover fielder. So we'll try and bring that replay up of that ramp shot. New technology here, Scott, with the replays and our streaming coverage.
New technology.
Edge, and that'll be 4. Lucky there, Kinshit Sharp. It's gone away. So just see Kinshit Sharp didn't really do a lot, but it's gone off the edge. Raceway very quickly down to third man. We had no chance.
Another good-looking shot. He's just finding it hard to beat that infield on the offside, isn't he, Max?
Yeah. But it looks like he's very keen to start freeing the arms there, Kinshit. He's a player that likes to get on with it. And to me, from the start of the year in the World T20, where he played and the Asia Cup, he looks a different player at the moment. I mean, the runs he's been scoring in domestic cricket just looks so much more assured out there at the moment than from earlier in the year. He's lost a lot of weight too. I think so, will be a wide, but yeah, he's trained very hard during the off season. I believe lost 10 kilos.
10 kilos indeed.
Through a diet and a twice a day exercise regime. He's now reaping the benefits.
Yeah, it's great to see the end results of that hard work. Again, he was dropped from the side earlier in the summer. He's forced his way back in through sheer hard work. He looks to be moving a little freer now. One down to third man there. Brings Chris Carter back on strike. It's a great position for Cricket Hong Kong to be in. There was a time where the thought of dropping players and there was an argument that we didn't have the depth there to be able to afford to drop players and bring new guys in. But with the coaching team here, the hard work of Cricket Hong Kong, we now have the depth and the ability to actually make these players accountable if performances don't back up. That's through again from Carter. Racing away fast, it's 4 more. Runs just starting to flow here for Cricket Hong Kong now. It's a bit of a slow start, but they've become more accustomed to the conditions. As Max suggested, they're just freeing their hands a little bit through the ball and they're getting some good early end results.
Yeah, for those couple of maidens in the first 2 overs. Yeah, runs just starting to come along now. PNG will really be keen to try and get a couple of early wickets here.
That's well bowled.
Oh, that's edged away fine, and that's 4 more. So a little bit of luck here for Hong Kong. A couple of edges going away to the boundary. And it's just getting the scoreboard moving along now. Takes the score to 26 now. And it's so important to get early wickets here in Hong Kong because you have wickets in hand, the last 10, 15 overs, these small boundaries for the likes of Bubba Hyatt and Azakat Khan to come, they're not quite big enough.
Yeah, exactly right. There's some great hitters in this Hong Kong middle order. Nizagat, as you mentioned, was in fantastic form in the summer. He scored his first-class century against Ireland. He's done well consistently in the one-day game as well. Domestically, he's been in incredible form. A lot of talent in this Hong Kong middle order.
And for those living in Hong Kong thinking about coming down, you can book online through Ticket Flap. Links are on the Cricket Hong Kong website, hkcricket.org. And, as you can see, lovely conditions down here at the moment, both just general admission and hospitality options available. And, can't think of a better way to come down in the sunshine in Hong Kong. Have a few Peronis, one of our sponsors for this tournament. So well played by Kinchit Shah off the back foot there. And, broken wood wines, or just water and soft drinks, Scott, whatever tickles your fancy.
Water and soft drink. But yeah, it'll be a great event this weekend. Obviously the first of 3 one-day internationals. The second is this coming Sunday, with the third being on the following Tuesday. The 4th, the 6th and the 8th of November. Ooh, I think he's got him there. Albeit a slow wicket, but he's worked hard there to get one up and around the helmet of Kinchit Shah. Looks like they're really testing the wicket, Max, aren't they? They've been a couple of lengths. They've been short, they've been full, and they've been somewhere in between. I think they're really trying to get a handle on the conditions and seeing what is effective and what is not through these early exchanges.
I think back of a length's where it's at. We've seen a couple of balls pitched up. Maybe have taken the edge, but it's actually cost them 4. And that's the length right there. Oh, bit of a mix-up. Back in time.
Got a great position here, Max, haven't we? And,
we can give the run-outs from here, Scott.
we almost could.
Sure.
We almost could.
Third umpire.
Well, I'll be putting myself in that situation, but we have a great position square of the wicket. The end of which that throw went. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that back of a length is the way to go here, certainly early on. The slowness of the wicket, but the line is so important, isn't it, Max? A little bit of width and it will disappear quite quick.
Short ball, flicked away by Kinchit Shah. Oh, that's well fielded down there. The boundary, can't see the player quite make it out from here. Looks like Chad Soper actually the opening bowler.
Yeah, it went fine, didn't it, towards that short, straight boundary that we've discussed already. Did very well. Opening bowlers not always known for their agility in the outfield, but Chad Soper did very well there to cut that off, saved 3 runs for his team.
Oh, edge there, caught behind. Great delivery from Norman Vanua, and he's got the first wicket.
Excellent delivery that, wasn't it, Max? Just the length we spoke about. Just back of a length, pushing Carter just a little bit back into the crease and got a little bit stuck in the end, threw his hands through a ball that was probably just fractionally wider than he would have liked.
Yeah, we'll get the replay up in a moment here. And I just reckon it just might have nipped away a little bit. Here it is. No, it hasn't done all that much in the end. Just a good length delivery.
Pretty straight. Almost threw Carter a little quicker than he was expecting almost. He was trying to get into the ball pretty fast in the end. Got this one wrong and unfortunately he's caught the outside edge. The first wicket goes. .27 for 1, the total here for Hong Kong. And that wicket brings the captain to the crease, Baba Hyatt. Max, you've seen a fair bit of Baba?
Yeah, I've seen a fair bit of Baba. I'm going to say he can be a nervous starter, Baba Hyatt, but once he warms up, I still believe he's the premier batsman in this Hong Kong team once he gets going. Zakat Khan's been in unbelievable form over the last few months. Baba Hyatt, number 3 for Hong Kong, has been a prolific run scorer. Just takes 5-10 deliveries to get himself going, as you would know him as well. He's a rather laconic sort of character, fairly laid back, doesn't feel too much pressure, so he just needs to wake up, Bubba, when he gets out there to get himself going. And then, yeah, very, very strong player through the covers, and has all the shots. Scored a brilliant, one of the best innings I've seen, 120 off 60 balls against Oman in the Asia Cup earlier this year. Now it's Chad Soper coming into Kinchit Shah. Oh, he's bowled him. So 2 in 2 deliveries here for Papua New Guinea with the one from the last over. This time it's Chad Soper knocking over Kinchit Shah.
Yeah, the man in form has gone. It's just what you don't want, isn't it, Max? Two in a row, 2 quick ones together. Bit of a shame, but I mean, it looked a leg stump line and into Kinchit's strength there, really. He's very good off his pads generally, but he's missed out here and it snuck through into that leg stump.
Yep.
Hong Kong, 27 for none, now 2 for 27.
Here's the replay. Fairly innocuous delivery, pretty much a half volley on leg stump. He's just missed it.
He's done well to sneak through, but sneak through it has. Kinchit's on its way back, and we were just speaking about Baba. It's now time to talk about Nizgat Khan. He walks to the crease here at 27 for 2.
Yeah. Fellow Hong Kong Cricket Club teammate of yours, Scott. So I'm sure you've seen him. He's lost a record number of balls, I believe, in the domestic season so far.
He has indeed.
While you sort of anchor up at the other end, Nizgat Khan tees off at the other.
Yeah, I'm stodging him at the infield while Nizgat's going up and over with ease. He's a fantastic talent, a player and a part-time coach as well at the Hong Kong Cricket Club. He's a fantastic guy to have in the coaching team there. Kids really look up to him. One of Hong Kong's premier batters, coming in at number 4 today. To have guys like this working with the next batch, so to speak, the youth of Hong Kong cricket coming through. He's an immense talent as a player and coach, and he'll be excited for this opportunity today.
Well, the Barramundis will have their tails up now, or their fins.
Yeah, they will indeed.
2 going for a team hat-trick here. The wicket off the last ball of Norman Vanua's over, and the first delivery of Chad Soper's. Rock solid from Nizgat Khan. Is he going to tee off straight away here, Nizgat, or is he going to work himself in? What gears has he got?
Yeah, there would have been a time where I would have been expecting ball 1, ball 2 to sail up and over the fence, but he's really working on his game, Nizgat. He's become a very dynamic cricketer, and you forget how young he is. I think he's 24. As things stand, and as he matures, as he grows as a player and a person, he's really starting to develop a game that has a number of gears, not just 1 or 2.
Pushing outside the off stump there. He's spot on, Scott, 24. And some of the shots that he is capable of hitting, I touched on it before, he's lost a few cricket balls up at what are fairly small boundaries at Hong Kong Cricket Club, it has to be said, but nonetheless, I think some of the shots he's hit would have been 6 on most grounds.
Yeah, and he showed that back in the UK this summer. He was prolific with the bat all the way through.
Edged, just short. Looked like a fairly genuine edge as well. We'll get off the mark, so a streaky couple of overs here for Hong Kong. Lost a couple of wickets. That one could easily have been edged into the slips of the wicketkeeper.
Could have, and they would have done their research, the PNG boys, and I think that's the line to Nizgat early on, that 4th, 5th stump line. He's such a positive player, and he loves to field bat on ball, but that can be his downfall at times early in the innings when he's not tracking so well. That 4th, 5th stump line, he can find himself in a bit of bother. He's got away with that one. I'm sure that'll make him aware of that fact. But he's away nonetheless.
Bubba Hyatt, it's the first ball he's faced.
Let's go back to Baba. I think we've done him an injustice there. He's really a topic of conversation. We spoke about Kinchit and the work that he put in through the summer to force his way back into the team. Baba, an immense talent. I don't think ever left the team, but the strides forward he's made, both physically and from a skill perspective also of late, have been huge.
Rock solid there. Bubba in forward defence. Yeah, he's another one, yes, like you say, similar to Kinchit, who has benefited from Cricket Hong Kong gaining a place in the Hong Kong Sports Institute here, which has allowed them to be full-time cricketers since the end of the World T20. And since that time, a number of the players, I mean, Nizgat has always been a fairly fit character, but a number of the guys have really changed physically in that time, being able to train full-time, having proper nutritionists every week, diets put in place, makes a big difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, especially in this part of the world where conditions can be pretty hot and pretty humid, pretty sticky at times. The fitness side of things carries huge value, and Baba was another one who invested so highly in that side of things. He got himself in really good condition, and I think that's really affected his skills as well. He seems to be hitting the ball harder than ever, more consistently than ever. Seems to be taking his innings deeper and deeper and longer when he gets in. So it's something that seems to have worked really well for him. And I know in speaking to the coaches here, Simon Cook and even Charlie Burke, they've spoke about his attitude and the way he's invested in the physical side of things. He was another one who lost over 10 kilos and really earned the captaincy, taking over recently from Tanvir Afzal, who held it previously.
Ball not bouncing too much there. That one, the back of a length, but pretty much top of the stump height. So whilst we've seen that one delivery which caught the edge of Chris Carter carry through, I think generally speaking they're looking at a fairly comfortable bounce to the batters here. And I think that would probably be to Hong Kong's liking, especially these two who I would prefer to get forward, would you say, Scott?
Yeah, I'd agree. I definitely agree. Two very strong players off the front foot. Two guys who hit the ball back down the ground with such strength and consistency. So, yeah, they'll really be looking to get forward, and this wicket should suit them well. I feel for Chris a little bit. We said at the time that it seemed to be through him a little bit quicker than he expected, that one that caught the outside edge. And the sort of feedback we're getting here now on the pitch, where it does seem to be a little bit slow and a little bit low. You can understand why he got maybe a little caught off guard when that one really took off and caught the outside edge.
Just guided down to third man from Nazakit.
Yeah, good control from Kat. That sort of delivery where previously he might have really thrown his hands hard at the ball early in his innings. You can just see a real element of control there to rotate the strike and get the ball through and keep the scoreboard moving forwards.
Yeah, in case you're just joining us in this stream here in Kowloon City in Hong Kong. First ODI between Papua New Guinea and Hong Kong. Or short delivery smack to cover. And, Hong Kong won the toss, chose to bat first. Appeared to be off to a flyer before 2 wickets in 2 deliveries has just slowed them down a fraction. And a wicket each to Norman Vanua and Chad Soper, two Papua New Guinea opening bowlers who've been very accurate, it has to be said. I imagine they'll probably think about a change soon. It is fairly warm out there. They might look to make a change shortly. It doesn't look to be a lot of sideways movement. In fact, I would say there's virtually no sideways movement. It's going to be about building pressure here for Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, I agree. I think dot balls the key here, Max, aren't they? Dot balls are the key. Building pressure on a slow wicket, nice tight infield, and you've seen the Hong Kong boys have struggled to get it through that infield so far. A couple of boundaries off the outside half and a couple of balls that have snuck through, but it's been tough to beat the infield from the very beginning. So I think building dots on this slow wicket, building pressure and forcing the mistakes from the Hong Kong top order will be the way forwards here. Chad Soper continuing here. Bowling at Nizakat Khan. Fantastic day here at Mission Road Recreation Ground in Kowloon. Mentioned previously that Hong Kong haven't had too much luck with the weather of late. The rain affecting the Braidwood Cup series against Scotland and the Hong Kong T20 Blitz earlier this year. Again, Soper right on line. A good length on that off-stump line. But this gap beautifully in behind. It looks a good contest, a really good contest between bat and ball early on here. And it should be a great 3-match series. The forecast looks incredible all weekend. Friday today, a school day, a working day for many, but the crowd is just starting to filter in. 10 past 10 here in the morning in Hong Kong. The ball struck well by Nizakat, but again, can't quite get it through that infield. Just backs up what we were saying earlier about the slowness in the wicket and the difficulty to really pierce that inner ring. Papua New Guinea boys renowned really for their energy and their high intensity. Their ability to move fast into the ball in the field. It'll be a tough day for the Hong Kong batters. Lots of ability in this Hong Kong lineup, Max.
Yeah, there is, and the guy, since going full time earlier this year, there's no doubt there's been an improvement with the physical fitness levels that have lifted. Seen a lot of balls timed very nicely to fielders so far. Just working through the side here with Bubba Hyatt, the captain, Azaz Khan, who did open a few times in the tour of Ireland and Scotland. He could slot in anywhere in this order, but probably now that he hasn't opened, I imagine around 7 or 8, he'll come in. Tanvir Afzal, who on this very ground scored 30 off and over against Scotland earlier in the year. So just knocked away nicely down a fine leg for a run for Bubba Hyatt. So as playing Ansham Rath is probably another one that we'll see come in shortly. He has been playing with Middlesex, or is part of the Middlesex Academy setup there, and looks a very solid young player, still only 19 years of age. Had a very good talent, scored 74 in the I Cup match against Ireland in August.
Yeah, real talent. Spends a lot of his time at the top of the order, actually. Does Anshi, a left-handed batter, very positive but very organised in his approach.
Maybe when the director of cricket, Charlie Burke, takes them, he might have some answers to us as to where he might slot in today. Has a lot of answers, Charlie.
Usually correct, usually correct.
He's claiming that most of them aren't right.
But yeah, if you look at Anshi's numbers in one-day international cricket already, for someone so young, still very much building experience at this level. He's played 7 matches. He averages 44 with the bat, so he's had a good run at it. 3 50s already.
Just got a comment here from Jim Kidd 1993, who said he wouldn't mind buying one of the flats in the nearby buildings for free cricket. But I can tell you, Jim Kidd, it won't be free cricket because the apartments here in Hong Kong, it'll just delivery, a short ball and smacked away. Is that going to go all the way? Can't check over here if that, I think it's one bounce 4. Great shot from Nazaka Khan, the first attacking shot that he's played today. But yeah, that won't be free cricket, Scott. This is per square foot, I think, the most expensive cities in the world. So you're looking at, well, try and put it into US. I reckon it's going to be at least a couple of million US
expensive,
there.
Max, is what it'll be. Expensive.
Million or 2 US. Charlie, any thoughts on what an apartment over there is going to go for? Couple of million US, so it's not quite free cricket, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd get a few ourselves. It looks like a nice spot to watch the cricket.
Have you got a couple in there, Charlie? Have you got a couple in there? Not yet. Right up top, that top floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, great spot it is. It's actually a brand new structure, that, isn't it? Maybe the camera will pan around at some stage, but it was quite open and an eerie Mission Road for a while, and it's really built up of like Cricket Hong Kong have invested some great time into the facility, and with some new structures going up around, it's got a real atmosphere about it now, Mission Road. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's got that Hong Kong feel with the apartment blocks in and around.
We've got a no ball.
Oh, no ball. Zakat Khan, he'll love these free hits.
Nizakat will not be ramping, I'll tell you that right now, Max.
Now, are you giving me points for saying Carter would step inside? I said mid-wicket. He stepped inside, though, and went to fine leg, which I guess that's wrong, isn't it, at the end of the day?
It was a bit generic.
Yeah.
A bit generic. Maybe half a point. We'll
But
give you half a point,
Zakat,
Max.
are we going back away or step inside? Or clear front leg?
Do you know what? Nizakat has incredible hands. I'd be backing him to be looking...
Helicopter shot.
Yeah, do you know what? Up and over the offside for me, for Cat here, but we'll see what happens.
Mid-wicket. Oh, there we go. Smacked it. That's going to go for 6. The first maximum of the day as that clears the third man area. Scott, you were spot on, but gee, the bowler helped you out by bowling it wide over off stump.
Yeah, he did indeed.
Outside.
But we spoke about his hands. That's gone over backward point, Max. It's not over cover. I'm not sure how it looked on the YouTube feed, but that's over backward point for 6. And we spoke about these long square boundaries, but maybe if we can get a replay of that shortly. The hands from Nizakat are incredible. Such good contact, and it's into an area of the field that not many batters can hit with such consistency.
Just going to try and bring up a replay of that 6. And Zakat Khan here as the very clearly titled replay here as he backed away. He did try and clear the front leg. And just sliced it away over third man for 6. Short ball. Zakat has been tested out in that area before.
He has. They've done their research, the PNG boys. There's a lot of information out there these days, a lot of video, a lot of footage, even within Associate Nation cricket now, which is just starting to get some real traction. And Nizakat has been found out on that short ball a little of late, but he's investing a lot of time in expanding his game and his scoring areas. He's played a lot of pull shots of late, that's for sure. But that one was good enough to get through. It's been an interesting first 10, isn't it, Max?
Yep. Aside from 2 deliveries, Hong Kong have looked fairly comfortable, but those 2 deliveries have been very important and yielded 2 very important wickets for Papua New Guinea because as the umpire just signals power play there. Because in Hong Kong, wickets in hand are so important with these smaller boundaries. You can score 8.5 to 10 and over in the last 10. And looks like we have a change in the bowling here.
Yeah, looks like Willie Guevara coming on to bowl here from the far end. We'll just confirm that shortly.
Yep, spot on, Scott. Good eyes. Oh, smacked by Bubba Hyatt, but straight to cover. Looks like more seam up here from Papua New Guinea. I am very curious to see the spinners operate here on a wicket that doesn't have really any grass on it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm keen to have a nice early look at Willie Guevara here as well. He's got a short little run-up. A run-up you see quite often here in Hong Kong with very, very little indoor space to run in from 30, 40 yards like you, Max.
Yeah, I run in harder than I actually bowl. I should probably take up the short run.
I won't comment there, Max. I won't comment.
I can't quite tell what's going on out there at the moment. Zakat's called for gloves.
New bat coming, I think, Max.
Could be time for a change in commentary shortly, just in end of this over. As I signal over to CEO Tim Cutler's putting his hand up. Always keen to get the mic in hand. I've just been sacked. play resumes here. Bubba clips that nicely. And a nice single there. One thing Papua New Guinea have done so far, they've fielded very well. Cut off the singles. Stopped all the balls going through.
Yeah, they have. It looks like they've set some good plans. They've identified the conditions and they've seen the wicket is a little on the slow side. They got very tight in the inner ring. They've made it quite difficult for the Hong Kong batters to get it through for runs. We've seen only boundaries and singles so far, haven't we, Max? Not much in the way of 2s and 3s just yet.
Shot from Nazakit. Looks like they've dropped the sweeper out to the cover, which suggests they've done their film on Nazakit as well. He plundered boundaries against Ireland and Scotland through that cover region. So Papua New Guinea have obviously identified that. Trying to cover it off. Willie Guevara here, the first change bowler into his first over here, has been very accurate like all the PNG bowlers so far. Slightly short, hammered, but straight to mid-on. Bubba height loves just to lean back and hammer balls through that mid-wicket region. Really just can't get over this sunshine. Scott, what a beautiful day it is here in Hong Kong. Absolutely perfect conditions. The humidity in November, December, January drops down as well. Very, very pleasant here. And of course we had the Hong Kong T20 Blitz, this ground in May, where it was pretty steamy. You played in that.
Pretty steamy, but pretty wet, unfortunately, Max. And not so uncharacteristic for this time of year, is it? The hot weather. It's just starting to cool down as we approach the winter months. The winter being the cricket season here in Hong Kong, which some will probably find it tough to get their head around. But the summer is a little bit too hot and humid and tropical, I'd suggest is probably
you have to be a die-hard cricket lover to want to play cricket here in the summer. It is very sticky and wet most of the time.
It is. It is. And the blitz ran to good effect earlier in the year, didn't it? Bar the wet weather.
Yeah, it's going to be back bigger and better in 2017 in March. Looking forward to, we've got a new team coming in as well, which will be announced over the next week or so. Short delivery and smacked out by Bubba Hutt. Oh, slight misfield. I put the mocker on the PNG fielders, just saying they've stopped everything. That one... That was just slightly short from Willie Guevara there, and Bubba Hyatt leaning back to put it away. We've got a replay here. Willie Guevara had bowled tight over to that point, but just a bit short. Bubba Hyatt smacked away. Slightly blurry there. Apologies for that, but through the fielder.
Legacy Acker is the man at deep square. It's a little bit unfortunate, but that's pretty true, I think, from what I saw here, Max. So
yep.
He'll be disappointed with himself there. Just
Yep.
a sign that things might be turning as well. They've kept a good lid on the run rate so far. They've bowled tight lines, they've fielded well, but just a little sign there that maybe Hong Kong have got through the toughest part of the innings. Maybe they can flourish through these middle overs.
Yeah. It's always very important in Hong Kong. Just get through that new ball period. Not that it's moved too much, but just as we saw with Carter, the odd one can obviously just do enough to get you out. A shot there from Zakir Khan. So we have a change in bowler at this end as well. Just trying to make it out from our commentary position here. Looks like it's Sessi Bao. More medium pace here from Papua New Guinea. Oh, great shot down the ground, but straight to the fielder. Bubba Hyatt really laid into that one. It looks like for Bao here, he's just going to try and bowl stump to stump. And he's got the wicket keeper up.
Yeah, keeper up for the first time today, which I think is a good option on these wickets here at Mission Road. Again, a little slow and a little low. Doesn't always carry to you deep on the edge of the ring here, Max.
Yeah, slight change in the field here. Looks like fine leg's gone out to deep square leg. So no one out deep at fine leg, which suggests he's going to try and bowl pretty full. Bubba height.
Be a good test this for the Hong Kong batters. Looks like they're blocking off some of the strengths early, in particular down the ground. Long on back early in the 13th over, I think we are. And I think the Nizakat and the Baba of old, they probably would have looked to go over him very early, but I think they're moulding themselves into real mature cricketers. So we'll see how they go about this middle phase.
Oh, well fielded. Oh, that would have been close.
Excellent fielding there in the mid-wicket region.
Like it was Siaka making up for last over.
Yeah, he's 1-on-1, isn't he? He's 1-on-1.
In the air, into the gap, and he's actually timed it pretty well. Siaka Khan, it's just got his knack for the ball pinging off that bat, but there is a short cover in position, so a little fortunate.
Yeah, he's got a good one in his hands there, Max. Had our fair share of nets together at the Hong Kong Cricket Club, and I've feared at the back of the nets at times, I must say. He hits them very hard, and he's got a great stick in his hands there.
Yeah, so Hong Kong have passed 50 here in the 12th over. I think that's right on the money for Bao. His bowling there just to get that back of a length. It's the end of the over, and I'm going to make way for a special guest here. We've got CEO Tim Cutler joining you for the next 20 or 30 minutes. Scott.
Thanks, Max. Cricket Hong Kong, welcome.
Thank you, Scott. And I must say, some amazing commentary from you first up. Is this your first gig on the microphone?
It is, Tim. I was practicing late into the night with my water bottle in hand in front of the mirror at home.
Talking about cricket?
Talking about cricket, as always.
Could you get better weather for cricket? Better conditions for cricket out here?
Yeah, I'm not sure you could. Probably depends where in the world you're from, Tim. I think you New South Welshman, this is probably ideal. I think for us English, maybe 10 degrees cooler would be the ideal, but certainly not a bad day for cricket.
I did have a bit of a giggle yesterday when Deepak Patel led the PNG guys in here for training and saying the boys are freezing. They're looking for their jumpers and their jackets. It was 24 degrees, I think, at that stage.
Some hard running here, and it would have been close with a direct hit, but I think we spoke before about the shape physically of these two boys, Baba and Nizakat. Nizakat probably one of the strongest physically in the squad, and Baba, the work he's put in recently, he's dropped 10 kilos, and he's certainly put on a yard of pace between the wickets. They made it home quite comfortably in the end, Tim.
Definitely, and I think I was just about to say that's one run that you would have not seen for Hong Kong prior to April this year when the boys started working at Pinnacle Performance. I think it was telling during the recent Island series, and I think we'll just watch this ball. Blocked there by Nizakat. When ICC head of high performance Richard Doan was in Ireland watching the game, and he was looking out the field and saying, "Oh, geez, why have they dropped Bubba? Well, where's Bubba?" Only to find out that Bubba was there at first slip skippering. He's just leaned up that much more, and I've seen his numbers at the gym, and really he's now one of the fittest guys in the team.
It's great to see, isn't it, Tim? It shows a real investment in their cricket. It's good pressure again from Nizakat. Pushed hard into the infield. A great effort there at point, but just starting to put these PNG boys under a little bit of pressure in that infield, aren't they, Tim?
Very much so. I think that's probably where Hong Kong's been a little bit lacking early on with the backing up and running, despite PNG being one of, if not the best associate fielding side, and maybe even in world cricket sort of up there. You really need to be putting the pressure on, don't you? Backing up hard and putting pressure on where the fielding side know that if I'm not right on my game, then I'm going to give up a single. But I think we just need to take another step up there.
Excellent batting again. Exactly what Tim said, a one that previously probably wouldn't have been a one, but the boys moving well here.
So, Scott, what do you think about the PNG team? I know this is the first time you've seen them play live and probably not too much on the stream as well. What's your first impressions here?
Yeah, lots of energy. They're a lively bunch, which is obviously a fantastic skill to acquire, so to speak, when you're moving around the field, especially on a hot day like this. Lots of energy, great movement in the field. Not seen too much in the way of versatility is the word I'm looking for, Tim. In the bowling so far, seen I think 3 of the PNG bowlers now who've all been medium pace, stump to stump, looking to get a little bit from the ball in the air and the wicket. But from what I see in front of me, plenty of options here later in the innings in terms of some spin, which has always taken good effect here on the Mission Road surface. So, yeah, excited to have a really good look at the PNG boys this weekend.
I think it's a really good test for where Hong Kong is at the moment. I think listen to you talk about their recent results against Namibia with that clean sweep. But that's no surprise either. They've been a strong team for a number of years. So this will be a really good test for Hong Kong before they travel to Kenya for a critical World Cricket League Championship tie there in Nairobi on the 18th and 20th of November, just to see where we're at. Look, I think there's going to be some really good one-day international cricket over these next 3 matches.
Yeah, I agree. And as if by magic, it looks like we've got the first spin of the day. It looks like Mahru Dai there. Looking to bowl his off breaks from, what's this end called, Tim? Is it the softball end, the baseball end? There's a great softball ground just behind that side screen there.
I'm not sure. I think I've been given some indications. It's the southern end of the ground. So we can say that's Victoria Harbour end.
Yeah, I like it, Tim. I like it. Right on the money, ball one. Nezakat will be keen to have a little look here.
Just a little bit of turn there early. I think that's very encouraging for all the tweakers. Nice pace on the ball there too. So we'll just see how Nezakat's going to use his feet to this pace. Very quick feet.
Even quicker hands, Tim. He certainly won't be shy, Tim, if it's there in his zone. Bit of action here, but no run. Spoken before about these short, straight boundaries, and Nezakat does like to target them. It looks like the PNG boys have identified that. Long off and long on back straight away from the beginning.
Yeah, this is definitely a ground where your boundary riders straight will be with their heels on the fence. I don't think there's any worry about a 2, but you really got to try and grasp in that 6 if there's a flat hit ball. I think we're only looking about 59 metre boundaries straight there. So, but in saying that, it's not something to be taken for granted when you're hitting straight.
Good batting from Cat. Rotates the strike here down to long on. Yeah, I think you're right, Tim. It can sometimes be your downfall, can't it? Those short boundaries straight. It can lure you in, get you into a bit of a false sense of security that the runs are going to come. And so often you see wickets falling off the back of guys trying to go up and over those short boundaries. So they've got to be a little bit watchful here, the Hong Kong boys.
And that's one of the quirks of playing cricket in Hong Kong. This is the biggest ground that these boys will play on. Just with that dot ball there to short mid-wicket. With the Hong Kong Cricket Club and Kowloon Cricket Club with 2 of the better grounds you will see around the world, but with even smaller boundaries than you see here, it's very easy just to assume as a batter that you're going to be able to attack the ball and get over that boundary. But we see a lot of wickets taken, especially by spinners in Hong Kong. Just with the batsmen, they're almost taking it for granted and not really seeing through their strokes, and some pretty low scores sometimes.
Yeah, and you'd have some experience of that, Tim, I think, wouldn't you? Tim Cutler, our CEO, probably one of the more effective left-arm spinners in Hong Kong domestic cricket.
I thought you were talking about my batting there for a moment, but...
well, we've not seen that for a while, Tim, so...
Let's just watch the game going on out here, eh, Scott?
just push some buttons, see what they say. We'll push some buttons and see what they say.
Scott McKechnie, first and last commentary gig for Cricket Hong Kong. Congratulations.
It's been immense fun. Thanks, Tim.
I think we'll have Director of Cricket Charlie Burke in for a moment to take Scott's place. Not permanently, but Charlie does have some intimate knowledge of the PNG boys, having worked with the ICC as East Asia Pacific Development Manager back pre-2010. So I think we'll get him to talk about some of the talent you're on show here today. It's not all about Hong Kong. It's great to see the energy that the PNG lads bring. So I think we'd all like to learn a little bit more about them.
Yeah, I agree. We spoke about Geraint Jones before, who again was a big part of my development. I looked up to Geraint quite heavily as a wicketkeeper batter in those parts back in the UK. And obviously at the end of his international career with England, he pulled on the PNG jersey and he came and played a fair bit of Associate Nation cricket, I think, with these boys. And did pretty well. He would have been a fantastic resource for them, wouldn't he, Tim, to learn from someone who's played well at the very highest level.
I think that goes to the whole country switching conversation. I think Tim Wigmore wrote recently in the New York Times, more from a rugby point of view, but about the effects that switching countries has. And although it's a different perspective with Geraint being born in PNG and coming back to the place of his birth, but similarly with Ryan Campbell, just the effect that someone with that experience has on a team, beyond their performance sometimes, it's really from an inspirational point of view and the way they can calm talented cricketers. If we just watch this ball.
Yeah, I fully agree. And you mentioned Ryan there, but we're very lucky here in Hong Kong to have a fantastic coaching team now. We have Simon Cook at the helm as head coach, off the back of a 16-year first-class career with Middlesex and Kent. He would have played a lot with Geraint in his time, so I'm sure he would have been tapping up Geraint for a bit of information on these boys, I'm sure. But Simon now at the helm as head coach, taking over from Charlie Burke, who's now director of cricket. And Trevor Penny is on site for this series. He's done a lot of work with the Hong Kong boys, hasn't he?
Indeed. Trevor here trialling hard. Hopefully we get to spend more and more time with Trevor. I think it's great to have someone of that talent in town, and you just see the energy he brings, everything he does, every conversation, every drill. He's got some of the best stories I've ever heard.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue, Tim. I wouldn't argue. Fantastic asset to the coaching team here in Hong Kong, and we'll see later on if he's taking their fielding to new heights. First slow baller today there, Tim. He's just rolled his fingers down the left-hand side of that ball, little leg cutter. Probably shows that they're just starting to get a good feel for the wicket. It seems an effective option here at Mission Road, those cutters, certainly towards the back end of the innings.
Yeah, it's a funny wicket like that. Having bowled and watched a bit of cricket here, it seems to be that the slower you bowl, whether you're a paceman or a spinner, the more movement you'll get. But the flip side to that is the slower you bowl, the easier it is for a batsman to stand there and watch to hit to those short boundaries. So a challenge of a field here, I think. And that's what makes for a very tactical game out there.
Mahurudai here to continue from the Victoria Harbour end, I think we named it, didn't we, Tim?
We did.
Are we taking credit for that in this stint?
It may have been suggested. Just a quick single out there to...
But can we still take credit?
We can still take credit. I think Kevin Stiles, Gatsby from Craigengow Cricket Club, I think may even press that onto me at one stage, that we should be referring to the Victoria Harbour end on that south end and Lion Rock on the north.
Like it. I like it a lot.
So maybe if we just start using it and just edging it into the vernacular,
I'm sure it'll stick.
It'll be there.
Very simple action, isn't he? Mahurudai, but effective so far.
I was going to say there's no nonsense there. Walk to the crease, but I don't think that really does give any justice to the energy he has on that ball. You just see that late curve, and could be very effective here today.
Yeah, he's not a tall man, is he, Tim? I think that'll really help him get it up and down. He's got to go quite high above the batter's eye line here from that low release point. I think it'll be a big part as to how he looks to catch these boys out. Certainly when they're looking to go up and over the top, that natural dip he'll get from that low point of release.
I haven't looked at his figures, but I'm guessing a lot of LBWs and bolds.
And I think the right thing from Baba here, he's showing intent. He's looking to use his feet and get close to the pitch. Staying over the wicket now. Great hands from Baba. He's picked out the man again. It's been a theme of this first 16 overs, isn't it? A lot of balls hit at fielders.
Very much so. But I think it's really on the batsman here not to get too frustrated. It's very easy to lose your head here when a couple you hit well and the field don't have to do anything different.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's a reflection of the slowness in the wicket. We've highlighted it already. It can pull those margin for error a little bit smaller for the batters in terms of piercing those gaps. You've got a nice tight infield and a real slow wicket. It's all on the batter to hit that gap, and if you don't, you won't score. So small margins for error, but they'll understand this surface well, Tim. They'll understand this ground well, and they'll know that as long as they keep those wickets in hand and formulate a couple of good partnerships, they'll certainly be able to catch up at the end. They have the ammunition, that's for sure. Willie Guevara, continuing here from the Lion Rock end. Looks good, doesn't he, Tim? He looks like he could run in all day. Very simple action, short run-up, which will carry value in this heat, that's for sure.
Absolutely no nonsense there again. That's what I love about the PNG skill base and the way they go about their cricket. Whilst there's a lot of flair in the way they execute, could be another boundary there, just behind points. Great shot there by Nazakit.
Yeah, he's really timed that one, hasn't he, on a slow wicket. Not always easy to get that sort of timing, but again, those hands outside off stump really coming into play for Nizakat. He's beat that man at point, and he's scored well from it.
We'll try and get the replay up for that, because I think that's really cracking cricket shot. Similar to a couple of shots he played in the Ireland and Scotland tour there, he just gets up on his toes and those hands come through so late and so quick.
We're going to try and catch the replay here of that boundary behind square, Tim.
Now look at that.
Yeah, and it's the sort of thing on telly, you'd see that shot go behind square and you'd see the full face. You'd think it looks a bit streaky, but it's good control from Nizakat. It really is.
It's a very controlled sort of low hook almost there, isn't it? You don't see too many of the genuine hook shots anymore. A lot sort of down and up pull shots, but that's very well controlled down there for one.
Yeah, you're right. And it looks like they're going to test him as much as Guevara doesn't seem to have too much pace. They've got a deep square and they've got a fine leg, so it looks like they're going to test him on that short ball and just see if they can catch an error out of Nizakat. Plan that again suggests there's not too much in the wicket, certainly from that fuller length. Less controlled there from Cat. Good line from Guevara. They're taking on a second. Oh, again, would have been close with a direct hit, but the boys quick between the wickets. Great awareness. They get back for two.
You see how quickly that ball's travelled that 60 metres. And you can see why third man there is as fine as he is. Just that's probably gone second slip it might have been, but good fielding down there. But you can just see how it's adjusted the field placements there because of the dimensions of the ground.
Exciting times for Cricket Hong Kong, Tim. A very young side, this, isn't it? I think the average age of this side around 23, 24 years old. Is that correct?
It is, and that's come up from an average age of just under 21. That's just a single down the ground, I think. But I think this speaks volumes, actually, that the fact the age is still that young, but on the way up, that this squad, well, the base of this squad, and I'm going to have a drink there for the first time today, but it's been together for a number of years now. It's good to see them sort of continuing together, and the core of that team really knowing each other's games, and hopefully as we continue to develop, that age stays around the same. We've got some really good under-19 players coming through. They were a little bit unlucky in the recent under-19s tournament in Malaysia to go through undefeated in the group stages, but to go down in the semi and the third place playoff. But there's some good signs there with the talent coming through. But as you know, as the only coach on these microphones at the moment, the talent's one thing, but actually converting that into a quality cricketer and a career in the game, that's another thing entirely.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of factors involved, isn't there, Tim? So the first drinks break here. It's interesting balance at the minute. Who do you think will be the happier of the two teams, Tim? 18 gone, Hong Kong 70 for 2. Those 2 quick wickets caught them a little off guard, and they were a bit unstable for a while, but they've rebuilt well here through Nizakat and Baba. Who's on top?
I'd say that PNG be happy getting the 2 wickets, but really the 2 men at the crease are the danger men for PNG. And whilst Kinchit's been in great form and Chris had hit a couple of crisp shots, I'd say that Hong Kong would be fairly relaxed with the position they're in, but I'd say it's even. If we after a lot of talking, I think spoils are even. But the thing is on this field that if you wickets in hand, and I heard you talking about before, but wickets in hand, and with a set batter or batters at the crease, you know, a score of 300 plus in the conditions out there today it's not beyond the realms of possibility.
Yeah, it's not unheard of. Let's not put the mockers on Cricket Hong Kong. They've got a lot of work to do. But yeah, ticking over at about 4 and over. 2 wickets down. I'd suggest both teams have got it under pretty good control at the minute. So yeah, I agree. Pretty equal at this point in time. I think this next phase of the game, these middle overs, will be a real important part of the game. If Hong Kong lose a couple more quick wickets, they'll be a little bit understocked going into the final 10. But if this partnership can just take them through to the 30th over sort of mark, they'll have a fantastic foundation to drive from. Would you agree?
Yes, I do, Scott. And we mustn't forget this is the first time that PNG's played on this ground since 2011. So to be waiting 5 years to play in these conditions, probably feeling their way around as well. You know, so much cricket on for these guys these days. They only did land 2 days ago, and yesterday was their first training session. So let's not think that this is the best we're going to see from them. That they're feeling the way from a leadership point of view, and the lines and lengths they should be bowling on a wicket that they haven't bowled on. So look, there's still a lot to come.
Yeah, it'll be a slightly different facility than one they maybe saw last time they were here. A lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of funding has gone into the ground here at Mission Road, hasn't it, to really get it up to one-day international standards. You can actually see the lines of sand just behind the keeper there at the back, which I think is a sign of the new drainage. Is that right?
Yes, as we saw with the Braidwood Cup and also the Hong Kong T20 Blitz, some real issues around the drainage of the ground. And that's been some hard work that's been put in by the LCSD, the government department that actually controls the outfield, whilst the contractor is Hong Kong Cricket for the square. There was a lot of issues around that drainage, and what you see there is the resultant work there, which is already paying dividends. During this year, we've had some games played that wouldn't be in the past, and we hope to see more work coming again to support the drainage there. So Bubba very watchful here, but as always, he's a bit like a coiled spring. You just jump down the wicket and hit one straight. But for Hong Kong's sake, let's see him put in a long one today. Just as we say that, Bubba with the second maximum of the day over wide, long on. That's hit high up in the tree. into the tennis courts there. Just so easy. Free swing of the bat there, and that's 6 runs to Hong Kong. Replay of that one up again. Some great footwork there from Bubba coming in the crease, and let's have a look at it now. It's very clean, and even with those short boundaries, where that's hit on that tree, I think that's 6 on a lot of grounds in the world. Now back there live. Good cricket there from Bubba. But equally superb fielding there, cutting down the 2. Really has been a joy watching the development of Bubba Hyatt. Since 3 years I've been in Hong Kong watching and bowling to Bubba, actually. He's always been an explosive batsman for Diaspora Little Saiwan. He's played for a number of years, but to see the development since really breaking through for Hong Kong and now captain, but also to see where he's gone as a leader within the squad too. I think everybody in Hong Kong's going to be rooting for long innings here for him to be able to score runs in front of his home crowd. And likewise with Nazakit, been in Hong Kong since a very young age. So we're seeing 2 very Hong Kong batters here playing in front of their home crowd. Nazakit now plays and coaches at the Hong Kong Cricket Club, so some great local talent here on show. Bit of inside edge there with Nazakit looking to hit to cover. He's gone the complete opposite side of the field and just one there to cat. Scott after a quick little break. Talk us through Bubba's 6 there.
Yeah, I stepped out at the wrong moment, didn't I? Just heading around that side of the ground and over my head it went. What a great shot. Real good contact, didn't he? We've spoken about those short boundaries previously, and even with long on and long off back, it's not always enough to deter these boys who are so strong back down the ground, in particular in the air. And I think with another 20 metres on the boundary, that still would have been plenty good enough, wouldn't it, Tim?
Definitely. And that's just it. I don't think you can take it easy, though. It's not a matter of sort of chipping it. I think you've still got to get through your shots. And as the term is these days, execute your skills.
Execute your skills. I'm not sure I want to be that cameraman just on the top of that sight screen at the Victoria Harbour end. He's not all that far away. I hope he keeps a close eye through that lens.
No, and it's been great to work with the same team of local Hong Kong cameramen for the last 3 series that we've televised. I'm just hoping that the awareness is there if we see a sort of a flat batted 6 coming back at him, just pluck that left hand up and catch it and throw it back.
Might have to send up some baseball mitts, eh, Tim?
I think so. Those Kookaburra turf balls aren't the cheapest either, at about 1,000 Hong Kong dollars a pop. So anyone that can help and get them back, it's always appreciated.
Yeah, fully aware of the costs involved with Nizakat Khan playing at Hong Kong Cricket Club every single week, Tim. We lose a few of them.
I think we were there to witness it recently, weren't we?
We were, and he looks like he's building a foundation here to really push on and continue that good run of form. Seems as though the conditions are in his favour. There's not much shape on the ball anymore, and it looks like they've really got a feel for the pace of the wicket. A couple of balls have gone aerial through the infield, which you'd expect on a slow pitch, but for now they seem to have it under pretty good control. There's that cutter again, Tim. Little leg cutter, always effective on these slow wickets, those little cutters, and it seems to be just taking and holding a little bit.
Yeah, so I think these two have to be very, very watchful there. You don't want to be turning the bat too quickly, front edges and whatnot here on a slowish deck. So I think both Nazakit and Bubba here need to be very, very watchful. Make sure we keep that blade nice and open rather than closing it too quickly on those cutters.
You see the boys still really looking to jump on that front foot at any occasion. Even that ball there, arguably slightly back of a length, but with the width, it allowed Nizakat the opportunity to jump on the front foot, and I think that's really got to be plan A for the boys here on this slow, low wicket. Keep coming into the ball, keep getting on that front foot. A few watchers on the YouTube stream. It's good to see people really taking an interest in all things, well, not just cricket Hong Kong, but Papua New Guinea and Associate Nation cricket in general, I suppose, Tim.
Very much so. Lots of chat about cricket's development in Hong Kong and in China. Of course, just dot ball there. Of course, the Cricket Hong Kong Sports Road Dragons are currently in Japan competing in the East Asia Cup. So that's our all-Chinese men's development side, and they're playing against the Chinese, Japanese and Korean men's national teams. So there's lots of cricket and lots of effort going into local development here. And of course, most of the Hong Kong team here have learnt the game of cricket here too. So it's good to see us coming out from all angles. And of course, we've had the Chinese team here recently, women's team here playing in the Women's World Cup qualifiers as well. So lots of energy into development here in the region.
It's a good shot in the end. It's brave. Again, we see those hands from Baba. He's so strong. Just a little bit of width, but the right sort of length. Long off was back, and it went probably a little bit straighter than he was hoping in the end. I think we're going to try and get a replay of that shortly, but he got the width. He's right in his zone, and he committed, and he got it all the way over for 6. Here it is, Tim.
Just how good are those hands? Yeah, an off spinner with a little bit turn. Even the cameraman's gone to the leg side there, but he's hit it over wide, long off.
Change of angle hits him around the wicket now for Mahurudai.
I'm not sure it's going to stop Bubba though. He's probably now thinking leg side towards those cricket nets over there.
Yeah, and the boys again here showing their maturity with their batting. 6 off the over, early in the over. Is there any need to keep going so early in the innings? They're now looking to rotate the strike and ensure they get out the end of this over unscathed.
What do you think about the off spinner coming around the wicket, Scott? I think it's since the advent and popularity of T20 cricket, I see it a lot more now. It seems to be more of not just a defensive option anymore.
No, not at all. Very much attacking. I think one thing that it does naturally is it cuts off a little bit of the width, doesn't it? You see there that line just outside off stump goes down the ground for 1, but that line just outside off stump, natural line for an off spinner, just presents a little bit of width. And they've probably identified that Nizakat and Baba here are very good outside that off stump. They like to free their arms through the ball, so I suggest from a bowler's perspective, coming around the wicket probably just allows him to bowl a little bit of a tighter line. See there, onto the pads of Baba. Can't really do too much with that. Can't get it away, certainly not through the offside. This allows them to maybe defend a bit more on that far leg side boundary.
So it really does block up. Well, it really makes it hard, I should say, to hit to the offside, doesn't it? Hitting against the spin and with balls pitching on the stumps. I guess the only real way to do that, or 2 ways, would be to try and hit inside out, or to get down on that front knee, as I've seen you do many times, and play that reverse sweep, which is a risky shot against a turning ball.
Yeah, not always to good effect. But it seems a good ploy. I think they're looking to restrict Nizakat and Baba here in terms of the options they have to score. You've got 2 versatile players like Baba and Nizakat who can score very much 360. We've seen Nizakat go over point and over cover. We've seen Baba go straight down the ground, and both boys work it square of the wicket on the leg side. They really can score all around the ground. So they're probably just trying to restrict their options. We have a change of bowler here. Asad Vala coming on from the line rock end. Good start here from Vala. Nice tight lines early on to Nizakat. That's good batting from Cat. Just gets it down the ground for 1. Off spin at both ends now, Tim. Is that a sign that they've really come to terms with what they're up against in terms of the surface and what it has to offer?
Yeah, and I think as that turf ball, it seems to age quite quickly here in Hong Kong, gets softer, just to really take the pace off the ball and make the Hong Kong batters create all the pace themselves. I don't think it's the worst option, to be honest.
Well bowled. I suggest it's one of those situations that could go one or two ways because Baba and Nizakat, they won't stop playing their shots if they feel it's there and in their zone. Short, straight boundaries. They're going to show intent. They're going to keep attacking, but do you know what? As we've spoken before, that can lull you into that false sense of security. That can drive mistakes.
Definitely. We haven't seen too many sweep shots either, true sort of down on one knee. So it's going to be interesting to see whether that comes out as the sort of get-out shot as it is these days against the spinners. And when I say get out, I mean a sort of get out of trouble to balls that are just pitching in an area of uncertainty. Got any thoughts on that, Scott? As we see that these two batsmen don't really seem that intent to get down low. I don't think they're bowling necessarily too quick.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I mean, we talk about the sweep, orthodox and reverse, and funnily enough, we see one next ball from Baba, but for me, I was always a big sweeper of the ball, a keeper and not a tall one, I might add, Tim. Always something that seemed to come quite naturally to me, but I fully understand it doesn't come too naturally to everybody. It's quite a different movement to many others involved in the game, and when you're so good at hitting straight back down the ground as Nizakat and Baba are, not always an option you desperately need, but Baba just persevering with that reverse sweep there. He could have got it through, and it shows he's really thinking about how he's going to move this innings to the next stage, what options he has available. Bar that one mistake in the last over where he got beaten through the outside edge, he seems to have it under pretty good control.
It was very much the commentator's curse, wasn't it? Talking about no reverse sweeps or sweeps and to play it next ball. And the Zacket now with the red floppy on. An aged red floppy, could we say.
Spent a fair amount of time batting in it this summer, Tim, that's for sure.
I think we're going for a double change at both ends here with Director of Cricket for Cricket Hong Kong, Charlie Burke, to come in and take over my spot. And Scott will also slip out after his 1.5 hour stint. Well done, Scott. And the CEO of Cricket PNG, Greg Campbell, who landed in Hong Kong last night, will join him. Former Test cricketer, been up in PNG for a long time now. So we'll say goodbye for now. Hand over the reins. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you, Tim. What a great start for both teams. An interesting game ahead. We'll hand over to the boys.
Thanks, Tim and Scott. Good to hear some wise words there from Scott McKechnie from Hong Kong Cricket Club. Joined here with Greg Campbell.
Morning, Charlie.
How are we?
Oh, very good, mate. Beautiful day in Hong Kong today. Eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Good to have you here, Cambo. It was 2011 when last time PNG and Hong Kong were here, and I know you said one of the first things when you walked in the ground how much the ground's improved, which is great to hear.
Looks magnificent. Yeah, that's really come on well, mate. 4 years, and 4 years ago I was coach, or 5 years ago coach. So now in the CEO role, but the ground's improved. It's a credit to Hong Kong how far they've come on and off the field. So well done to you guys. I was very impressed when I walked in the outfield, just the facilities, how it looked.
I appreciate that. A lot of hard work goes into this for any ODI, and so it should. There needs to be a standard, obviously, at such a high level of cricket. And it's, you know, I suppose it's fitting to have PNG back here. We've sort of done it both together, haven't we? We've gone from Division 3 all the way up into World T20 qualifiers and ODI status and all that. So we've progressed nicely together, and obviously we were pretty proud to be the first team that you guys played against in ODI cricket in Townsville in 2014. So hopefully this is a regular event, as you and I have spoken about.
Vala continuing here to Barber height. Charlie, you'll have to give me it right if I get it right. But yeah, I've just been only to the ground the last 10 minutes, and you were saying before it looks like the spinners have just slowed the run rate up a little bit, just holding. But Vala again to height, short, no run. Look, it's a rivalry. Our boys actually talk about New South Wales, Queensland State of Origin with you guys. That's how highly they rate it. That's close neighbours. They say, well, they were 9 hours away. They rate it. They rate it very high when we play Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's just certainly Mahuru here and Asad Vala have just hitting that right length. I just feel that it's just sticking in the wicket a little bit. The new ball seemed to go through fairly well, but since the spin has been operating, just sticking in the wicket. Vala again to Bubba, who's flicked it on the onside and well fielded there by his spin twin Mahuru Dai at deep square.
Spin twin, you like that, Assad, I think. Spin twin. Look, his bowling's come on really well, and under Deepak they're encouraging him to bowl more, so it's good to see him, acting captain at the moment with Jack Vare out with the knee reconstruction, so he stepped into the role really well. He continues again to height, hits powerfully down to long off for one.
Yeah, I just had a, obviously know a lot of the PNG boys fairly well from my time in the East Asia region, but it's great to see Dollar or Asad Vala skipper in the side. I think he's got some great leadership potential. I know he's a fairly quiet character, but he's a true leader, so good to see him getting the opportunity for the PNG boys.
Vala again to... That's a powerful shot, and that'll be a boundary. That's a great shot. Yeah, sweep shot. Picked his gap well. It's a great shot. That moves the score on to 2 for 90 after 22.
I think we just have a look at the replay here. It's hit well and miss. Oh, that's awful by the CEO. He's had an absolute stinker there.
Isn't he still a current player? He tells me, Charlie, he's still playing, and he's one of the best fielders going around in the local competition. He hasn't shown that there.
Yeah, he's had an absolute shocker there. He's keeps reminding myself and Simon Cook, the coach, how many days he's got left till he qualifies for Hong Kong. He probably needs to improve his fielding at the moment.
Yeah, talk about qualification.
This is mean, Cambo, but we're going to have a look at it again.
Oh, no, I think this is really good, because this will be talked about 10 o'clock tonight by Mr. Cutler, I think, won't it? How he got a bad bounce and everything. Look, this is more or less... Look, watch this. This is straightforward. Look, he's gone one hand. Don't the coaches tell you? Don't the coaches tell you 2 hands, Tim? Yeah. That's a great shot. That's a big 6 over mid-wicket.
Love the shot there from Nazaka Khan. He's been in some pretty good form, Cambo. He had a great series against Scotland and Ireland when we were there in July. Got his first class 100, so he's been batting well. So, vital partnership here for Hong Kong.
I'll get this right, Charlie. Barber's got the cap.
Correct.
No, we haven't got the floppy. I think I done it the wrong way round last over, but I apologise for that. But getting used to, that was a very good shot, very sweet shot. Picked his spot really well. Died to continue again. So a good comeback, a little bit of a turn there, I think. Our little keeper, Doggett Bow, stepped in for Jack Vare, and look, he had a great series against Namibia, Charlie. It was on debut, 80 not out in a one-day game, chasing 275. He showed lots of maturity, but he's been around the group for a while now. He's been on scholarship. Died to continue again. Well, that's going to fall safe. And one bounce boundary, another good shot then. I don't think Asarval will be too happy with the fielder there, Varney Varga. He was 10 metres in, unless he's placed him there.
Yeah, it's the big boundary square of the wicket, but yeah, he sort of almost took a little while to react then as well.
Yes.
Which was surprising, but
Charlie, me and you both know the old days, easier to come in than go backwards.
yeah, absolutely. And I think Tim Cutler found that a bit earlier as well.
He won't forget this, Tim.
Certainly won't. I'll keep reminding him. I might actually put that clip on Facebook at some stage.
There he is, look, the big fella. Can't see a thing, Mr. Cutler. Can you move out of the way, please? Charlie, you've been Hong Kong a while now?
Yeah, been here 6.5 years now, so you can get residency after 7 years. So I'm almost a Hong Kong resident.
Almost a Hong Kong resident.
Yeah,
And enjoying your new role?
Yeah, I am actually. It's good because we've got such good support staff now, and with full-time cricketers, it's important to have a director of cricket and someone to support the coach and the support staff. So.
Oh, well bowled. That is a good delivery. That is a good delivery. Flied it up outside off stump. That's spun back between bat and pad. That's a great delivery from ODI. Just a wicket PNG needed too at that stage.
Absolutely. Just what we're talking about then, how vital this partnership is for Hong Kong, and PNG were just starting a couple of boundaries there and a 6 over mid-wicket, and Azaka was looking dangerous. So good fight back there from Mahuru.
So Hong Kong 2 for 105 after 24. Here's a replay again of this. This is very well bowled by the Looks floated it up. Oh, that is a very good delivery. I mean,
that's an absolute jaffer.
It's a jaffer in our terms, Charlie, isn't it? Yeah. A lot of the audience probably don't know what a jaffer is, Charlie. Yeah. You get them at the cinemas, I think. You better explain that.
It is a peach of a delivery.
Peach of a delivery. Yeah.
Oh, that's a terrific delivery there. So got the left-handed Anshuman Rath coming in now. He's been in over in the UK with the Middlesex second 11. He's been having a good season there and averaging over 40 in one-day international cricket. In fact, his first ODI was against you guys in Townsville, so he's done well since. In fact, I think from memory, he may have got a half century on debut.
He got 60, I think. Charlie, I think this lad's a very good player. I saw him, like you said, a couple of years ago on his debut, and he looks like he's very well all-rounder batter, knows what he's doing, and looks like he has a level head on him. I think in the future you could look at him as captain. I mean, I know that's early because you've got a good captain, but I was impressed what I saw about this guy, and ever since I've seen the results moving forward, he always seems consistent.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I reckon if he wasn't spending a lot of time in the UK, he may have got the VC next to him. His name may have got the vice captaincy.
Bala continuing you over, played straight back to him, no run. Look, that was probably a wicket PNG needed there. Just 24 overs, 3 for 105. So the game's very well evenly balanced at the moment.
Yeah, as I said to you before, I reckon I don't know what the other commentators have said today, but I reckon anything around about 260, 270 will be a good score on this ground today.
Bala can continue. Pitched up, punched down to long off for one. Yeah, look, I think the spinners are going to play a big role, as we've seen. Like I said, I've only been in the ground 20 minutes, but they've got to work for the thing. And I think if there's deliveries like Mahuru Dive just bowled that last one, if there's any more of them, the batsmen are going to find life pretty tough. But look, we've got to continue. The boys, PNG boys, will try to get that run rate down as much as possible to put pressure on the batter. The field's coming in now. Legacy Arca's coming up. Well, he's been sent back by the captain. Back to his normal position, deep cover. Oh, that's well bowled. They'll get a single there. Probably good delivery.
Cambo, just out of interest, it's obviously we've had a lot of people from Hong Kong in the commentary box today, but you've now got a number of the players contracted. How many of the PNG players are now contracted?
16 now, Charlie. Full-time cricketers. That's their job now, just like most places in the world. Fowler again continuing. Straight down to long on should be only a single. Yeah, look, there's 16 full-time cricketers. We have 10 on development, on a rookie, and we're just about probably next year put 10 ladies on. So
it's fantastic, isn't it?
So look, we see that as a way going forward to make them more professional. Fowler into Ralph. Oh, that's another breakthrough. That's just caught it short cover. trying to find out. Tony Ura's taken that catch. I'll have to
That's
look
a
at the
fantastic catch as well there, and a big wicket there. It's always critical in one-day cricket or in cricket in general not to lose wickets so close to each other. And Antrim and Rath there were just building him up. It's probably his lowest score in ODI cricket. So there's one stat.
I was going to say, Charlie, you won't want me on the microphone next time he's batting. We build him up saying how consistent he is. But that happens. That happens in cricket. I mean, he's spinning on a slow wicket. That's his probably second of ball's fade. He's just probably played a little bit early at that. I'll look at the replay. You said it was a very good catch, but I've got a steel pole in front of me, Charlie, which is...
That was a great catch. He completely off the ground there, leapt one-handed as well, I believe. So
very good fieldsman, Tony Ura. Just come back from a shoulder reconstruction, so he's had 12 months off fresh, so he's probably his first... he played against Namibia, so this is probably his second sort of series back as a full-time cricketer, and he's done a lot of hard work, so very key cricketer for PNG on the field and as a batter. Here's a replay of this. I'll let you go through this, Charlie.
Yeah. So you can see that Tony Ura was just pitched to there. Hasn't quite got it. Oh, I don't think we've quite got the camera angle there, unfortunately, but you'll just have to take my word for it, Cambo. It was a one-handed, off the ground, terrific effort. So end of the over as well. And the new batsman to come in is Shahid Wasif, who is very new to this side. Can also keep. He's had some good domestic form in Hong Kong, so he's at the non-strikers, and the Hong Kong skipper, Bubba Hyatt, is on strike with Mahuru on to bowl the 25th over.
Hong Kong 4 for 108. Charlie, I just heard your comment about very new to the side, but also can keep. It's the modern day cricketer now, isn't it? That can do just about to do everything. Keep, bat, bowl. I mean, Legacy Akra now is our reserve keeper, but he's actually got 7 wickets in the Namibia game bowling. So die again. Should be just one. They might look for 2. The batsman, no, they settle for 1.
Well, I think it's, for me, and we're fortunate that we've got Trevor Penny doing a fair bit of work with us, who's terrific coach all round, but also particularly the fielding side of things. But one of the things that we've commented is you watch keepers, guys that are keepers or have kept before in the field, they often have that awareness and that want for the ball to come. So, Jamie Atkinson's a classic example for us. When he doesn't keep, he's our best fielder. Yeah. Waka Sparkad, who hasn't been selected for the last sort of 6 months, but he's another guy that's one of the best fielders in our side because a former keeper.
Die again to continue. Oh, that's a very good leave, Charlie. I'd like to see the replay of that. The PNG boys are up, and I don't think he'll be leaving another one of them, but that's good judgment, as you say.
2 types of leaves.
A good and a bad.
Yep.
Yeah. You're right about the keepers, Charlie, going back. Jack Vare, he keeps, 99% of the time, and the time he hasn't kept, he's a very, very good fielder, Jack. Quick across the ground. They anticipate the game, don't they? They read the game. That's their job as a keeper, to read the game. So, yeah. I mean, going back to my day, I know he mightn't be listening. I hope he's not. Ian Healy, who was the worst fielder ever. You had to give him the gloves. Even if
the game has changed a bit.
Yeah. So.
I'll tell you, I mean, we've got Ryan Campbell, obviously, here in Hong Kong as our batting coach, but he, former West Australia and Australian keeper batsman, but he stands at first slip down, takes some wonderful catches there. So take the gloves off, he can still contribute. But Shahid Wasif is off the mark there, through mid-wicket.
Yeah, you've got a few here. Ryan's been here a while, and he's in charge of Kowloon, is that right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, no, we got there was one question I was going to ask you about the PNG side, but we've got a terrific support staff here. We've got obviously Simon Cook, the head coach, Sarah Whitehead, our physio, who's does a fair bit of work with our boys. They've been, the more cricket they play at this level, the more that they're sort of seeing her. And as I mentioned, Trevor Penny spends sort of 2 or 3 times a year with us. We've also got Jawad Iqbal, who's our assistant coach and was assistant coach when I was there as head coach.
Yeah, it's been a long time, Jawad, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been terrific as well. He's one of the hardest working coaches. I mean, he's a terrific assistant coach because he'll throw balls all day, he'll hit balls all day. He's really good value, very good for us.
Sorry, change of bowler here, Norman Vanua. The opening bowler is coming back on. A bit surprising after Assad getting that wicket, but He's probably just takes this opportunity to give Norman, get him through with that ball, see if it will tail in. Look, he's been a good young kid for us. He's now spearheading. 12 months ago, probably 14 months ago, he wasn't even in the side, in and out, but he's stepped up now. He's got a great worth ethic, and he's also I know the coach is trying to get him to work on his batting because he's a very good striker of the ball when he's in. So we've got to try to complete his all-rounder, but something different, just changing the game up here, Assad. I don't think that's a bad move. I might have been tempted as captain to give myself another over after taking a wicket, but that's why I wasn't a very good captain either, Charlie. I didn't do it very long. Maybe bowled myself too long sometimes. In comes Vanua. Dot ball, no run, so it's a sort of cover point there. Yeah, Charlie, going back through your staff, we're always, our high performance department, Rarua Dakana, and our director of cricket, Gayan Loku, who's been with us now going on 4 years. We look back and admiration to you guys about the quality you've got here in Hong Kong of that support staff moving forward. You know, that's something that in PNG we're trying to endeavour to get, get that quality there, because the boys do actually raise up to when you've got a quality assistant coach helping the coach, and the support staff is huge now going forward in cricket. So something we are looking at, how we can implement that into PNG. It's a different case scenario. Hong Kong living and not being awful, it's different to PNG. So, but it's something on our forefront thinking moving forward that we've got to get some help moving forward there. As you guys, saw the level 3 coaching course last week, building up that relationship with Cricket Australia. We're also doing that, and even New Zealand cricket at the moment. So, hopefully we can drag something out of that.
I suppose that's the thing with PNG as well, is that, you guys do get a lot of great support from Cricket Australia as well, and you guys recently played in the SACA, is it the Premier League?
Yes.
Which that's now 3 years I think you guys have been
4
involved
years
in that.
now.
4 years now. So it's crucial for that. We've just working out the finer details at the moment, but we look like playing in a domestic competition in Sri Lanka next year, which is critical for us to continue to play a high level of cricket.
A short pitch door, that's come off really slow. That struck the batsman. No damage done there, but yeah, look, it is. We've both got to find that level of cricket now to not only the competitor that we play against, that they are probably a little bit stronger than us. We want our boys to improve all the time, and we feel like moving forward, the SACA League's been great. We're in discussions now with Tim Nielsen, the high performance manager of South Australia, where we take this competition. If we can get into some more cricket in Australia, then we might have to let that go by. But at the moment, we're still there, and it's been great for us. Oh, that's very well bowled. Full, nearly a Yorker to the new batter. So look,
sorry, Cameron. One thing that we've done, and one thing that I noticed, particularly as I was stepping down as coach, was just trying to build that depth underneath. Do you have an A-team program or an academy program, or is it simply your under-19s?
Look, no, we have an A-team. Unfortunately, it probably hasn't progressed as quick as I would like. Here comes Norman Vanua again that short, just outside off stump. They're going for a quick single, very well judged in the gap. Yes, we have an A-team. Probably, like I said, it hasn't progressed as much as I thought. That's the end of the over, sorry. 4 for 110 off 27 Hong Kong. Look, it's one of them things in our program, Charlie. The finances come to the end of the season, and that seems always the thing you got to cut, which is frustrating for me as CEO, and it's probably more frustrating for the coaching staff that we cut that. But we have an A-team program going. Again, we're looking at an academy, setting up an academy as of next year into PNG that we can bring in the people from the Highlands, and I know you'll understand what I'm saying there. You spent a bit of time in PNG in your early days. That there's no roads in PNG you can drive in, so everything's by aeroplane, which becomes very costly. So we're trying to set up an academy there that can house 30 to 40 people at a time. They'll come in, but they'll do school arithmetic, they'll do English, and they'll do nutrition too, which is a pretty big thing in PNG to get them to understand what they've got to do, eat right and do all that. So we're going to make it more like academy school. And we've got some big businesses looking to sponsor that for us. So moving forward, that'll be a big bonus for us.
And you've got some. That's a good shot there.
It's not out there.
He's given
it out. I'm a good judge, Charlie, again. I think, have a look at the replay, Charlie. I'm going to be on your side here. I think that might have been a little bit high and bouncing.
Yeah, I thought it was a good shout.
He did play back.
He did go back.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Here's the replay.
It's a good delivery again.
Oof. I'll tell you what, I think that's out.
You're out,
Cambo,
Charlie.
I'm
I'll look at that, Charlie. I'll put my glasses back on there, and I can see it.
That's
yeah.
turned again. He's getting that odd one to really
That has
grip
turned
there.
That has turned a bit. You got any spinners in your team, Charlie?
We've got a few
Yeah.
today.
That's
And
why
I think I just looked over there licking their lips.
I said that tongue-in-cheek to the director of cricket here because I know he would have a few, yeah. And that will be a test for
One
our
of
guys
them's
moving
coming out
forward.
now, Ehsan Khan, who's also an off spinner. So he'll be pretty keen to get some runs here first, and then have something to bowl at. But and I think one thing that Cricket PNG have done really well is your partners, your stakeholders, your sponsors. I mean, you've had, Hebu's one example of that. They've been around for a while now and really helped out with your first facility that you guys built there with the nets and stuff, didn't they? So that's vital, isn't it, in associate cricket to have that non-ICC income and that other support that you can get.
Oh, very much so. We wouldn't survive without it. The ICC money is very good, and they're the bloodline of us. But our sponsors have been very good. Like Hebu's been on since I've been there 6 or 7 years, and BSB Bank and their junior program. Yeah, we need that non-ICC income to survive. Just quickly look, Charlie, 1-1-1.
There you go. It's
You know
struck.
that? Yeah, it's struck.
It's struck.
David Shepherd, God bless him, he'd be
Well,
jumping up and down on the spot.
Saycat's still on 2 feet there.
Yeah. Go again, and that's turned again. Oh, I think he's given it, Charlie. Oh,
Given that,
he's given it.
I'm not as convinced with that one, to be honest.
I'll go
I think
the
that
other
was
way,
all
Charlie.
pad.
I'll go the other way. I think that was an inside edge. The batsman doesn't look that disappointed here. We'll get the replay of that. Here it is again, Die. I'm going to close it.
I thought he was a fair way away from that, but
Uh,
anyway, that's
I'll probably agree with Charlie,
uh,
but we better move on from there. I think.
it's
Yeah.
what's
Going
done
back.
is done, and that's
Nelson
a
again.
couple of he's struck. It's a good fight back here. All started with Nazakat Khan, who was bowled by Mahuru Dai after looking pretty solid. I might just go through the score sheet actually for those that have just joined us, joining our coverage of Hong Kong versus PNG in the first ODI of 3 ODIs here in Hong Kong. We've got the second one on Sunday and the third one on Tuesday. But Hong Kong won the toss and decided or elected to bat. Chris Carter was the first one out. He was caught by bowled Vanua for 16. Kinshit Shah, who's been in terrific form in domestic cricket, chopped on, sort of went to whip 1-3 mid-wicket and was bowled for 9. Nazakat Khan, who we saw before, was bowled by a terrific delivery from Mahuru Dai for 45. Anshuman Rath caught by Tony Ura, terrific catch. Have to take my word for that one. We didn't quite get the footage there. And Shahid Wasif, LBW bowled Dai for 2, and then obviously we just saw Ehsan Khan out there for naught, caught. And we've got the former Hong Kong captain. Tanveer Afzal, who's a lovely striker of the ball, but he's probably in a bit earlier than we would have hoped for, but certainly let's hopefully see his maturity with the bat first for a while.
And he played the hat-trick ball pretty easy, Charlie. Yeah. Just leaned forward. He's hit that through covers. That'll be a boundary to him. Second ball. That's a very good shot. So he has scored a few runs for you lately, hasn't he? I've seen this boy on the scoreboard. He was your former captain. Is there a rule in Hong Kong that every 2 years? Is that?
No, it's an unwritten law.
It's an unwritten law, is it?
It's. I think I remember Jamie Atkinson speaking to me about captaincy, and I tell you what's tough at this level. Yeah. There's so much riding and so much emotion on every series and every game that you play.
Look out, you've got the batting maestro here. Look, he's carrying some boxes. Where's his entourage that usually carries them for him, Charlie? We're talking about Ryan Campbell here.
He's not too happy with me. I asked him to get those.
Look,
But,
Charlie, 260, 270. If they get that from now, they've done really well, I reckon. The PNG boys will be happy. They have to. Hong Kong will have to reset their targets here and do a bit of consolidation. The wicket is turning, and no doubt, and you've got some spinners. So I think 220 from here, I'd say.
yeah, I think anything around 220 would be a good effort from here. I mean, we sort of pride ourselves on how deep we bat, but there's no point saying that if you don't do it. You know, and there's a lot of guys that are batting down at sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 that always want to go up the order. So now's their opportunity to put their hand up. Don't talk about it. It's now an opportunity to do it. So
Vanua continuing. No run there. Look, it is, and look, no doubt, this time me and you have been on, that we've seen some sharp turning deliveries there, so it doesn't matter. I always thought I could bat too, Charlie, too. You got out there and you had a spinner or a big quick bowling at you, and then you changed your mind as you're halfway out to the middle. But look, it's going to be hard for the new batsman coming in. It's sort of wicket, again, when I walked into the ground, you thought it was a new ball wicket to get on with, so as a batter. So look, you do bat down, and we know that. I know the boys would have spoke about how deep Hong Kong bat. Vanua again on his way. Again, no run.
yeah, and I'm genuinely surprised here. I mean, I've seen a lot of cricket, obviously, at Mission Road, and to see that sort of turn, it's actually, I haven't really seen that before, honestly, Cambo. Dipak probably thinks I've stitched him up here. I said it skids on a bit, but anyway, I haven't actually seen too many deliveries turn like that, which is not a bad thing, to be honest.
No, it's a good thing, Charlie.
Good
I
for
don't
cricket.
mind it, yeah, and especially for our boys, we need practice at that anyhow. So it'll be a good couple of days for Vanua again on his way. Bowls. It's a short pitch ball. All the way. They'll definitely get 2 here, I'd say. No. Well fielded by Legasiaka.
Isn't he good, Legger? Hey, I love watching Legger.
He's very good.
He's one of my favourites. Yeah. It was good to see him. He played in that Prime Minister's 11 or Chairman's 11? Is it Chairman's 11?
Prime Minister's
Prime
11
Minister's
a
11.
couple of years ago with Mr. Glenn Maxwell, and Mr. Maxwell, Leggett, they asked him how fast he ran the 100 metres, and he sort of said something like 9.3, which would have won the last 3 gold medals at the Olympics. But I think he got that a little bit long with Leggett.
Yeah.
But Maxwell tweeted that, this bloke's faster than Usain Bolt, he said.
Terrific to see the school kids coming in, part of one of our junior cricket programs, the Junior Cricket Sixers. So they're over at the deep mid-wicket boundary, or at the moment they're sort of a wide third man or a deep point. Or
Vanua again. Short outside off stump, play down the third man for a single. No, the kids, Chad, aren't they a big part of the fixtures moving forward? Get these children in playing, and I think the associate world, we can do a lot more with this. I know you guys are, and certainly in PNG during the games we encourage them to get out in the field and have a hit round. And the sad thing for me is, in the test arena, they've taken that away. I know New Zealand are bringing it back. You want the kids out in the middle.
Yeah, and it is. And it's, we started this program, the Junior Cricket Sixers, and our development staff have done a great job with it. So the kids will get an opportunity to watch some international cricket, which would be the first time for most of them, if not all of them, to see some international cricket.
How's that gone with you, Charlie? Going into a Hong Kong where it's not their number one sport and it's probably new to them. Have they taken to it? Have they?
Yeah, I think they have. I mean, we've noticed how important social media is. And the media and marketing team have done a terrific job with that by raising the profile of not only the Hong Kong team but cricket in general, and that's made it a lot easier as well. And that's played a big part in this.
Vanua again, down leg side. He's turned that to deep square leg for 1. To the Legasiaka again. Yeah, it's very important. And again, even going back to us, how much emphasis, we were talking about the academy before, about how much emphasis we put on getting these kids through. So there he goes, mate. Look, he's got coach on his back, Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, there's only one of those shirts, I can tell you that, at KCC.
And he's got it. He won't give it up. He won't give it up.
Cambo, I've got to get back to doing my director of cricket role, so I'm going to pass my microphone over to Max Abbott, who's going to introduce us to the other commentary replacement. Thanks,
Charlie.
Cambo.
Pleasure. We'll talk again soon. Charlie Burke's departing us. Director
thank you,
of
Charlie,
Cricket
and thank you to Greg Campbell as well, the CEO of Papua Cricket PNG, and we have a stepping into the booth now, a man who's very well travelled in cricket and a very distinct voice as well. Many years with Warwickshire, winning numerous titles, he tells me, and working as a coaching consultant with Cricket Hong Kong at the moment. A very warm welcome to Trevor Penny.
Thanks, Max. Nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Trevor,
it's not a good 20 minutes for us. We just lost 3 wickets, so time to rebuild for maybe 10 overs, see if we can get to that 40 over mark just with the 6 wickets down.
So tell us about what you've been doing with Cricket Hong Kong, Trev.
Yeah, okay. Well, I come over twice a year, and I work with the Dragons, which is the Chinese-based team, sort of from scratch, really.
Oh, big shot there from Tanvir Afzal. That's over the fence and into the softball courts. And that is what he loves to do, Tanvir. He loves to be aggressive. We saw him hit 30 off an over here in January against Scotland. So I don't know if he's going to just prod around for 20 overs, although you may like him to do so.
Well, no, I like people to play the way that they normally play. Particularly here, he hits straight very, very well. So it's only like a 50-yard boundary out there. So as soon as he sees some air, I'm very happy for him to target the straight boundaries.
So you're saying you're working with the all Chinese?
Yeah, with the
Dragons.
Dragons, and I also normally help out with the ladies, but they had finished their tournament by the time I came here, so haven't done too much with them. And then mainly helping Simon Cook with the main side here, and it's very nice. It's different to what I have been coaching, like the Indias and Sri Lanka. The level's just one notch down, and it's really nice. The players are very keen to learn.
So Hong Kong trying to stage a little recovery here after losing quick wickets. Oh, another big shot from Tanvir Afzal. He scooted into the gap and will probably pick up a couple. Got Mahuru Dai here at the moment with his off breaks, and the wicket has turned, Trev. I don't know if you've been able to see from your coaching position, but Zakat Khan earlier got one that spun right through the gate. Was that expected?
I think the boys expected it to spin, but not as much as this morning. With the seamers, it seemed very nice to bat, and we were setting ourselves up nicely for a really big score at one stage. We could still do it with these two, but it does look tough against the spin. He's bowling it sort of flat and into the wicket, and it's turning quite a lot. So
don't see many bat pads in one-day cricket in the 31st over.
That's for sure. It's going to be interesting, especially we've got 3-4 spinners as well. So we managed to get around about 250. I think that'll be a good score.
So when the wicket's turning, Trev, as a batter, what are the instructions?
Well, you want to get off strike. So it's good that they're attacking with their field, with the short leg and stuff like that. It's going to mean there's more gaps. And from my experience, spinners don't like it when you sweep. And that's crucial about some of our guys don't sweep, but if you sweep, you change his length, and then you're back on top. If you just let him bowl, especially with that short leg in there, it's going to be pretty dangerous.
Looks like we're going to see some seam back into the attack here, which is a little surprising. Norman Vanua, the opening bowler here, off the long run. I don't think Bubba Hyatt will mind that too much.
No, it's they've only got 2 spinners, so I suppose I don't know how many that the other offie's got. What's his name? Anyway, but they bowled very well with their seam, I thought. Especially early on, they didn't bowl many bad balls, and they bowled to their ring field. Looked like they didn't want to get too many wickets up front.
Yeah, well, Mahuru Dai, who has been the main destroyer with 3 wickets, he's only got the 1 over to come, which I'm sure he'll bowl at the other end. But their other spinner, Asad Vala, he's just had the 3 overs, 1 for 10, and they've chosen to get the seam back on. Perhaps going to switch ends?
Yeah, I think he'll come in from this end. Well, I think if we had our innings again, I'd like us to target straight boundaries more.
Yeah, well, that's just what
I've said.
Just what you've said. Tanvir Afzal bumps one down the ground for a boundary. So Trev is known as a coaching guru and spot on the money just there.
Well, and these 2 batters in particular love hitting straight, so this could be good for us if they play sensibly.
Yeah, it's Tanvir Afzal really, from what I've seen of him, has one gear, and that is to attack.
Well, in a league match last Sunday, he actually didn't do that. He batted for maybe 20 overs and just took the singles and played very sensibly. So hopefully we see a bit of that today. in between those lovely straight sixes that he does.
Yeah. It was, I think, from memory, I was actually in the commentary position at the time when he hit that 30 off and over. I think it went something like 6-2, 6-6, 6-4 in that over.
Wow.
Poor old Rob Taylor from Scotland.
Well, he's very talented, this boy. He's bowling and batting. I think there's a lot of potential there. Even though he's a little bit older, he still can improve so much. Talking about talent, I believe you're a good rugby commentator.
Where'd you hear that?
Oh, I just heard the other night that you do Hugh Bladen very well, the South African commentator.
Yes, and well, it certainly can impress Zimbabwean or South African friends, Trevor, with the Hugh Bladen. This PNG series. Certainly a cricket fan as well, that's for sure.
And what about your Pommy Mbangwa? That's a legendary commentary.
Well, you know, Trev, when you're here in a Papua New Guinea game and you're at associate cricket, your wicket's going to fall quickly, but you try to score some runs. How's that, people watching on YouTube? What do you reckon of Pommy Mbangwa there?
Very good. You're actually better than Pommy Mbangwa at hymns. I think if there's one thing I'd like to improve for the next game, or talk about anyway, is the strike rotation. I know the wicket's slow, and when it goes into the wicket, it's hard to actually place the ball, but I think we've must have a very high percentage of dot balls today, which makes it difficult, especially once the spinners come on and you haven't capitalised with the seamers.
So this is the last over here for Mahuru Dai, who's bowled very well. Bowled an absolute jaffa to get rid of Nazaket Khan. It's back of a length, hard to get to there.
Yeah, he's
that
a
what
short
you're
guy,
talking
isn't he? So
we'd like to talk about there, whether a single or look for a one there. Is that what you're talking about?
yep, there's way too much of that at the moment, and it's something we can improve on for sure. Because these spinners on a turning track, they love to bowl at one batsman. So if they can get 6 balls at you, there's a good chance they could get you out, especially with short legs and things around. So it's crucial that we can rotate the strike here, not give him another wicket being his last over.
Yeah, that's it. You're listening to Trevor Penny, a Warwickshire player, and a few matches for Zimbabwe before you moved to England as well. Yep.
Back in the day, 1988, I played for Zimbabwe and they moved to Warwickshire.
What an era that was for Warwickshire too, through the 80s, 90s. Oh, and that could be 4. It's wides by the look of it as well, and very handy bonus runs there for Hong Kong as Mahuru Dai, as you said, bowling quite quickly, but that time just ill-directed.
Yeah, I think he was a bit nervous that Bubba was going to hit him straight over the side screen there. So he darted it in down the leg side and paid the price. That's the way, a nice single through mid-wicket. Just rotating the strike now. It's really crucial that we just keep these two at the crease for the next 5-10 overs. Then we'll have a nice launching pad.
That's it. So Trevor Penny working as a coaching consultant here with Cricket Hong Kong for 3 weeks, here till close enough to the end of the series. Well, he's gone for the big one, and he's collected all of it. That's into the softball courts. In fact, maybe just short of the softball courts, but certainly over the first fence that you've got to get over. And that time, or it was Tanvir Afzal again, targeting that straight boundary, just as you suggested he should and would, Trevor. And a very clean strike of the ball, Tanvir Afzal.
Definitely, that is the exact way to play this guy. As soon as he tosses it up, come down and hit him straight. Certainly going to mess his line and length up. It's a pity Tanvir didn't come in earlier, actually.
Yeah, indeed, and he's raced to 26 off 17 balls here, Tanvir. He's just sort of taking the attack, bit of a counter-attack here from Hong Kong.
He's just showing his experience because he's sort of not worried about getting out. He's not playing for a place. Sometimes it's easier, and he's an all-rounder. So he's often, I've seen this around the world, the all-rounders have got a bit more freedom when they bat. That's something the batsman can learn from and maybe just play a little bit more freely.
So I think he's Uhuru Dai's last ball. Be a bit disappointed in his last over to have gone for 5 wides and a 6. Just spoiled his figures slightly there. But nonetheless, a very good spell. To pick up 3 wickets is very important here with these short boundaries. Wickets are vital.
Especially Nizakat. That was a huge wicket because we were right on top of the game there. And then we went bang, bang, bang. Lost 3 quick wickets. So it set us back. Yeah, now he's off. I think we'll get the other off-spinner on this end. But I think if these two are still there, it's not going to be an issue now.
Looks like just the one over for Norman Vanua. They've got the other opening bowler back on here, Chad Soper, who plays grade cricket in Sydney. Actually come up against Chad a couple of times back before moving to Hong Kong.
You did well against him, I believe.
Yeah, he got me out. Nice no shot offered off stump backwards.
You didn't know bowled in swing?
I think it was fairly straight. I can't even... I think I just misjudged, Trevor. But that's quite not very important right now because Chad opening the bowling here for Papua New Guinea and kept it very tight in the first few overs, which sort of just built up enough pressure to get a couple of early wickets. He got Kinshit Shah out playing around 1 earlier, who's been in good form in domestic cricket.
Yeah, he actually looked really good, didn't he, up front? They bowled well to him with a tight field, so he never got any loose balls to get himself going, and ended up missing that pretty straight ball, which was unfortunate.
So we've got 18 overs to go here. Trevor, 147 for 6, 2-set batsman. What are you looking for now? I mean, it's been a nice little counter-attack.
I still just think the next, say, 7 overs, especially with the seamer on this end, I'd like them just to tick it around, and maybe if the odd bad ball goes for 4, but take no risk against the seam. Go for 5 or 6 and over, especially with the field spread, and that'll set us up. Then the 6 wickets down doesn't really matter coming into those last 10, especially with 2 guys in. So this is a crucial 7 overs for us.
Yeah, because they've got Azaz Khan to come, but you don't want to be leaving 15 overs for the last couple of batsmen to face.
Yeah, especially seeing it turn, and we've got all our spinners. I think if we can get up to 250 plus, it's going to be very competitive.
And Tanvir Afzal on strike here at the moment. 27 off 20 balls. Just after Hong Kong lost 4 quick wickets, has just moved a little bit of momentum back towards Hong Kong. Bubba Hyatt's been very solid.
Yep.
39 off 59. He's on. Still with a couple of 6s, mind you, in that innings, but that's sort of Hong Kong style, I guess, if you like.
Yeah, that's the way. It's one thing I have noticed in associate cricket compared to, I think I said it before, it's just the rotation of strike. Players are very, very talented. It's just the cricket now, so learning to hit a boundary and then get a single. You can take Nizakat's over where he hit a lovely 6 slog sweep into the trees out there over mid-wicket. Then he came down and hit the off-spinner over extra cover for a 1 bounce 4, and then went dot, dot, dot out. So that's the sort of thing we can look at and learn from, and sort of just be prepared that the dot ball can actually get wickets, and we must learn that we've got to rotate. Oh, that's good running there. Bad fielding. One-handed pickup out there. Not what I like to coach.
Now, Trev, of course, so how many countries have you actually coached in, Trev? Must be a few now.
Oh, gee, yeah. Well, originally Zimbabwe, and then in England. Then I moved over to Sri Lanka for a while, coached as an assistant and then as head coach. And then I went to a stint in Australia.
Off the edge.
That's just one run down there. With the state teams, Western Australia and with Queensland. And then ended up going to India for 4 years, as well as going back to Sri Lanka.
Must have been an experience.
So, yeah, that was a real treat, going in with all those legends, Sachin Tendulkar and co. And just being in India was just amazing, really. larger than life. It's more of a religion out there, and just to be involved in it was awesome.
Just back of a length. I think that's the spot to bowl for the seamers.
Definitely, and the keepers come up there as well, so you can't use your feet now. So that's a clever tactic by them.
Yeah, tidy over from Chad Soper there, just the 3 runs off it. 17 overs to go. So, Bubba calls for the cap to come out, and let's see if they do just switch the spinner to this end, because it has, no, it looks like medium pace. Looks like Sessi Bow coming back into the attack. Didn't bowl a long spell, if my memory serves me correctly earlier. Very short spell, just the 1 over. So
I think it might be a good tactic on their behalf, because I think we would have lined the off spinner up again and hit him straight, especially these two. So maybe they just want to bowl back of a length and sort of tie us down, and hopefully we make a mistake.
yeah, PNG still with the Saad Vala, the off spinner, with 7 overs up the sleeve, and then we have seen the ball turn quite sharply. Looks like they're just going to try with the back of a length, stump to stump.
That's well played. This is exactly what I'm sort of hoping we do. Just go 5, 6 and over, push him around, and get our launching pad in after the 40th over. What do you think of the crowd today, Max?
Well, being a Friday working day here in Hong Kong, it's only 100 or so in today, but Sunday ticket sales are going well. I think close to 500 here on Sunday, which for this ground, which if when it was full for the Blitz earlier in the year, about 1,500 you get in, so you get a pretty good atmosphere with 500 or so in. Cricket is certainly got a strong following here in Hong Kong, amongst the very diverse communities that live here in Hong Kong. It's growing among the Chinese community, a lot of different programs being put in place there. A lot of our Hong Kong Dragons team are currently playing in Japan today against the host in the East Asia Cup. Oh, they've put the front foot down. And watch it, the kids are over there. That's only just short of them. They want to make sure they keep their eye on the ball when Tanvir Afzal is at the crease, because that was not far off. Some of the kids from the Junior Sixes program coming in to watch today. But, obviously in the big Indian, Nepalese, Pakistan community here, obviously with a very strong following of cricket. And obviously your English, Australian, New Zealand, South African expats that are working here in Hong Kong. Full ball smack down the ground. That's a fantastic shot from Tanvir Afzal in the slot, and he's just hammered that one straight back over the head of the bowler for 4 runs. So probably looking to be a bit more back of the length, the bowler there, and paying the price as we look at the replay here.
Yeah, he's definitely making the bowler change his line and length. He pulled the one that was back of a length before. That's forced him to bowl full that ball. So now it's interesting. He's back on top.
Full again.
Oh, it's unlucky. He nearly got the single there. This is good cricket by Tanvir. He's really changing the game. Suddenly it's sort of even Stevens again. Yeah, going back to Hong Kong cricket, it's amazing how it operates, actually. It always amazes me when I come here. There's only a handful of grounds, all the ladies' teams, men's teams, kids, and the way, it's all spread out. There's hardly any practice facilities, and for Hong Kong to be in a Division 1 status, it's quite amazing.
Yeah, it is incredible. I mean, in domestic leagues, you don't play every week. There's not enough grounds. We've got more cricketers here than we can really service. So it does present some challenges in that regard, but very enthusiastic cricket community. While it's not
definitely
humongous, it's a very enthusiastic and a very talented one around the leagues.
Well, that shows, doesn't it?
Myself knock around in a bit of domestic cricket here, and there's a lot of young kids that play in that Hong Kong style with the small boundaries. And like you say, Trev, probably one of the weaknesses is knocking the singles around, but my God, they can hit a ball and they can clear the boundary. But it does certainly make for some entertaining matches that we play. I think the last one I played were 3 for 5 after 9 overs and make 235. So that sort of sums it up. There's a bit of ... And once the sixes start flowing, they can be hard to stop. But we're in the drinks break here at the moment. 160 for 6. 16 overs to go. The 35th over will be bowled soon, that you can see on your screen there. That's 34 gone. As you can see, a few those little bleachers that we came in. We asked the government to provide us with some grandstands at the ground, and they duly delivered down there in the that corner of the ground with some sizable stands there.
Nice grandstand, did you call it?
Yes, but the most popular seats in the house down there, no doubt about it.
There goes Tim Cutler, CEO, walking past our studio.
Yep, he's
doing a wonderful job here.
First one to put up the hand for the mic today, Tim. Needs no second encouragement.
One of the world's biggest cricket nuffies.
Yeah. Well, it's a fantastic cricket community here, and no doubt with Papua New Guinea in a very similar mould. The cricket scene there is getting a much bigger following as well, and the ICC have just given funds as well. Recently announced extra funds to associates to play more one-day international cricket to fund that, which is obviously so important. Now the players are full-time now; they need some matches.
For sure, it's something when you're involved in the test match cricket and the test match countries, you don't really notice the associate countries, and so it's been nice the last couple of years to get my teeth into Hong Kong and a few other countries. So it's
the US as well. You've done some work in USA
US
cricket
recently,
Yep.
And they're in a tournament at the moment, a level 5 tournament, I believe. So I think they won their first 3 and lost the 4th one, but looks pretty much that they're going to get through and go down to the next division. So.
Yep.
It's good. It's something you don't really notice once you're on the road with say, in India or something, and then suddenly in the World Cup you might play against Hong Kong or something, and it's like, wow. But it's been good to see, and I think ICC have really helped them, and all their funding, and it's improving. The standard, the gap was actually coming down really close now.
Chad Soper continuing here. And that's fairly gentle delivery after the drinks break there, Chad.
Yeah, nice little half volley hit straight to extra cover. So we've seen that quite often today. But still pretty happy. Drinks normally gets a wicket, so touch wood, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Really concentrate in this first over.
It's well bowled, just back.
It's well played, that's good.
And we can perhaps blame Director of Cricket Charlie Burke for losing 4 wickets in his commentary stint just a little early. Those lines on the screen there, you might be wondering, there's just been some new drainage put in this ground in the off-season. So the new grass and soil that's been elected to be put in there is just taking a bit of time to settle in, but new drainage much required up here. We've been a few problems with that in the past at this venue. Definitely appears to be an instruction here to take the pace off the ball from the medium pace, Chad.
That's it.
It's definitely looking like he's happy just to lumber in here and get back of a length.
And I think with the long boundary out here, you're just going to bowl back of a length and try and force him to hit to one of these fielders. They definitely don't want him heading straight.
Yeah, it's up to Tanvir just to stay patient here. He's gone straight and he's cleared the mid off. It'll be 4 runs.
Beautiful shot. That's exactly what he wanted.
The guy piece in here, Trev, to Tanvir. He's listening to you all the time.
Who, sorry?
Tanvir. He's listening to you.
Yeah, I've got a mic linked with him. No, he's very mature player, isn't he? He's been playing a long time, and it's showing today.
So tell us, in the coaches area or the players area where you've just been, do you talk much with the players during the innings? Have you given any suggestions to the batters before they go out, or do you just stay silent?
It depends on the batter. Some people just like to leave them alone, so you don't want to muddle their minds up and stuff like that. Some batters like to talk and listen to options. So it depends on the batter, really.
So do you say anything or not?
Well,
have you said anything today?
I've spoken to the guys that are out.
Yeah.
In particular for the next match.
Okay.
But generally, you don't want to mess.
So you didn't
give
say
too
to
many
Tanvir
options.
hit straight or none of that instruction?
That's the way he plays anyway. And before the game started, that was part of the team talk. It's pretty
Watch that
obvious
one.
here.
What a shot that
That's
is.
a hell of a
He's
shot.
just clipped that off his legs with that bottom hand coming through, and he has leathered that past the mid-wicket and through the two.
Here it is on replay, yeah. I think the bowlers are just getting a bit tired now. They're starting to bowl a bit loose. Oh,
Yeah,
what
that
a
was-
shot. He's just waited nicely on it, put it through wide of mid-on.
Oh, Vans Chan, the groundsman down there, looked like a little fumble. Van's a
good,
very enthusiastic cricketer, part of the Hong Kong Pioneers team, the Chinese development side. I've actually faced him in the nets, Vans. There's a net over the road from the ground, and
Not bad.
got him to, he bowls a little bit of outswing,
Okay.
Vans. Also very good up-and-coming groundsman here, very enthusiastic.
Change of
and
bowling
does
here.
a lot of work.
Here comes the offie.
This looks like, can't quite pick out the number there, just feels slightly obscured here. Yeah, it's Asad Vala who bowled the 3 overs, 1 for 10 earlier on. He started with a wide here, but I think in the end the decision to they had the over of seam here and decided, no, we'll keep the spinner on.
Definitely. It's they need a wicket. It's worth the option. I think we've sort of got them on the run now. They're starting to bowl a few more bad balls. They're changing their bowling all the time. These two are looking really good, so yeah, I'm not superstitious, so I'm going to say it.
Oh, Trev,
No,
absolute
curse.
commentator's curse, and the spinner's worked again. Asad Vala has knocked over Tanvir Afsal and possibly...
See what he did there? He didn't look straight. He ended up going over cow corner, ended up going cross bat. Shame, that's a big, big loss, that.
Good commentator's curse, that one. We're still not superstitious, but just looking to go mid-wicket. That was the mistake.
Yeah.
And just enough turn to go through the gate.
Not really, that's just a bad execution, really. He's only got to hit it 40 yards. He's trying to hit it 140 yards.
Yeah, that's a big blow for Hong Kong, just as they were perhaps starting
I think
to...
it's as Charlie Burks just walked past. He's caused that wicket.
Maybe. But yeah, in the end,
Shame.
looks like Azaz Khan coming out to the wicket, but a bit of credit to Asad Vala there for giving a little bit of flight to the ball as well, knowing that Tanvir was looking to attack, backed himself.
It's exactly what they wanted. They needed a wicket. He came on and sort of tempted him and turned it inside him.
Got to 170 here, which is, they're probably at the minimum score that could be defendable now, do you feel? 180 is probably, on a slowish wicket with spinners, is probably the absolute minimum that they've managed to reach.
You can win with anything, hey? You just don't know how it's going to happen. But if we bowl well, I would say it's, anything's defendable.
And
So it is turning a lot.
Nadeem Ahmed, quality spinner for Hong Kong. Ehsan Khan, good off spinner.
You've got...
Anshaman Rath.
Yeah, Ashman. There's some. All depends how they play. If they attack and get off to a good start, then it's always hard to defend. But if we can really start off well, that first 10, it's going to put them under pressure. I would have brought a short leg in there for sure with the new batter. They've missed a trick there.
Any word from Ehsan Khan whether he hit that one earlier to bat pad? Did he say
Oh, I
anything?
didn't speak to him.
Okay.
I didn't see it, but
Tossed up again. Good bowling here from Asad Vala. Just tempting Azaz Khan, who's only just come to the wicket.
trying to get it to go in between the gate.
That same replay from before. Can you put that on again? So Bubba Hyatt and
The
Azaz
good
Khan
thing
there.
for us is Bubba's still there. As long as he sort of sees it through and bats the 50 overs.
Here's that dismissal again.
Okay.
Tanvir Afsal coming down the track, getting sucked into going over mid-wicket.
Definitely was there for to hit the ball straight over the side screen, and he's just got too excited and just dragged it around and ended up going for mid-wicket.
It's like another bowling change here. Swinging the bowlers round, been quick changes.
Yeah, it's the story of the day for us. Every time we've sort of just got on top, we've lost wickets. So it's credit to them. They've bowled tight and fielded very well. So they've kept us under pressure even when we haven't been going well.
Yeah, it's Willie Guevara coming on to the attack here. Chad Soper just a couple of overs. It is fairly warm out there, so good thinking from the PNG skipper. And
Perfect weather, really, isn't it? Not as hot as it normally is here in Hong Kong.
I've just seen the first couple of clouds for the day. But certainly nothing menacing at all, but absolutely perfect conditions. So Bubba Heights moved to 43. And he really now has to back to the end of the innings.
It's a shame. We're not seeing the best of him, but he's playing a captain's knock for sure. I think he will know what a good score is, and as long as he's still there, there's no doubt about we can get even 220, 230 now. I think it'll be a challenging score.
Yeah, I suppose from a PNG point of view, Hong Kong obviously going to wanted to get 250. But I wonder what PNG were thinking as a score here they would like to chase.
I think it's changed. So their first 10 overs, we all thought a minimum of 250, and even 300 if we had wickets in hand. And after seeing it spin, and like even with the seamers, with the keeper up here, it's pretty difficult. And especially early on, it didn't look like you could get singles as well in the ring. So although it's a good wicket, I think they'll be going in thinking they have to bat well to get this score.
So maybe they won't want more than 220, 230. Yeah. Hong Kong will want 250,
yeah,
which is a fair way away at this point with only 3 wickets in hand.
It's just important with Bubba, if he's still there with 5 overs to spare and a couple of batters to go, I mean, we could still get 250, there's no doubt about that. The game's changed so much over the years, one batter can go in and hit 4, 5, 6s and it just changes the game. So while he's there, I'm still pretty confident.
And whilst Scott McKechnie earlier and I were in commentary, we were just talking about that wickets in hand in Hong Kong can be so important because with the short boundaries, you can score big in the last few overs. And Hong Kong have probably lost that privilege to a certain extent.
I think we've gone back to that stage now where we just don't take any risks and try and get now to the 5 over mark and the 45 over mark. So hopefully Bubba's communicating that out there. Hong Kong Cricket Association.
Cricket Hong Kong, Trev, now.
Cricket Hong Kong.
Change and rebrand recently.
Okay, that's cool.
Hong Kong Cricket Association to Cricket Hong Kong, mainly to separate a little from confusion between Hong Kong Cricket Club.
Okay.
That was one of the main reasons for the change. As a worker for Cricket Hong Kong myself, everyone says to me, "Oh, you work at Hong Kong Cricket Club," which of course is just one of the clubs here. Not part of the actual national setup. So change also, the logo and brand had been changed since 1968, and cricket, as you would have guessed, Trev, has obviously changed a lot here in that time. So it was time for a refresh, and I think feedback's been really good.
You've also started this 2020 tournament, haven't you?
Yeah,
that's new.
That's very exciting. The Hong Kong T20 Blitz will be back in March. Some potential big name signings on the horizon, which you have to keep an eye out for, and possible big name coaches as well, Trev.
Yeah, well, maybe I've been talking to a couple of the owners, hoping to come back in March. It'd be really nice. It's only a 5-day tournament, starting small, as you say, and hopefully in 5-10 years' time it's going to be even bigger and can match the sort of PSL and those sorts of tournaments.
I think the plan is to make it a mini PSL, mini IPL. So it's never going to be on the scale just due to the facilities here. There's no big cricket stadiums in Hong Kong. Oh, in the air. Just short, or was it drop? Couldn't quite tell. But a good effort diving forward. I think it was just short. But yes, but a carnival of cricket over 5 days with some of the big name players in the world, pairing up with some of the best domestic Hong Kong cricket players and other associate players to come in and play for 5 days here.
I think you're very lucky it's in Hong Kong as well, which a lot of the players I've spoken to already are very keen to come out here just because it's a great place.
It is great fun. Certainly when people come and travel to Hong Kong, it's probably 5 days is almost optimum for a holiday here. So there's the bright lights around town. There's plenty to do till the mornings, beautiful, peaceful mornings down on the harbour front, to bright lights late at night on Hong Kong Island.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know, Trev. Certainly in the
early morning coffees I do know about.
East Admiralty, or also as it's known, Wan Chai and Lang Kwai Fong. But some very nice rooftop bars and restaurants with great vantage points down onto the Victoria Harbour, which is just spectacular. Having it, living here still blows your mind, and you've been here a few times.
Those people that haven't been to
harbour.
Hong Kong, it's out of this world, and every night's a Friday night almost, and it's just bustles, and there's loads of shops and restaurants, as you say. It's a really, really good place to visit.
Oh, short and wide. Can't find the gap, unfortunately, Bubba. Bubba on 46 at the moment. Missed out.
Would this be a part-time spinner?
Yeah, it has been a change of bowl. Well spotted, Trev. Just good now. I've got a fielder in front of me here. Hiri. To the attack with his off spin. He'll probably come in the lower order around number 8. Hiri.
Wow.
Short and wide.
He's he's a pretty short guy, and I don't think he's going to want to have to toss it up too much with that short boundary. So he's just going to bowl short. And
We've got to be careful. When you miss those couple of long hops, you're
putting yourself under pressure.
You can try and tell yourself you've got to make up for it. Good control from Bubba.
Yeah, he's been very, very sensible, so it's good to see. I think if we play the overs out, we'll have a decent score at the end and be pretty happy.
Easier said than done, though.
No, that's true.
Wide delivery, probably would have been called a wide, but Zaz can't just chip its cover. Just firing my Wi-Fi up again here. Just a little phone battery die. Now we're back in action. Missed out a couple of runs in this over.
It's been the story of our innings, really. We've the semi-bad ball, we haven't sort of got a single off it, and we keep hitting the field, so we put ourselves under pressure. But I'm happy with this, as long as we, as I keep saying, as long as we can bat the overs out, we'll have a decent score.
Good to see a few people joining in the conversation on YouTube. Bit of criticism. We can see the kids come in the background there. Good to see. Junior Cricket Sixes program. Some of the local schools. Sardvala continuing. The PNG skipper.
You know, it's we keep talking about getting singles and stuff, but it's actually a practiced art, and we're working very hard with the guys, trying to get them to create more singles and change the bowler's line and length. But it's it's when you play in the associate cricket here, it's easy to block a few and then hit a couple of big ones, and you get away with it. So it's a work in progress, and as I say, we're working very hard at it. Looks like Azaz has been told by Bubba just to block and just stay there and try and get through these overs. Oh, and then he comes down and hits a big 6. It's gone straight over the side screen. Wow, that was good. He's blocked a couple of balls and then just used his feet beautifully and hit it straight over the side screen.
What a shot that was from Azaz Khan, who's,
I was just saying, it looked like he's been told by Bubba just to stay there, and he comes straight down the wicket and hits it for 6.
Here it is. Yeah, nice shot.
Very
Just
nice
gets
shot.
the pitch.
Good use of the feet, got to the pitch. This is the thing, playing on this ground. You can afford just to block a few, I suppose, and then you can get away with it. But, you know, we've got to work harder at the singles.
Indeed, and you don't want to be taking risks all the time when to score your runs, and there's
100%.
always an element of it when you're looking to come down the track and launch for 6. Just taking a look around to see there's also obviously a test match going on in South Africa and Australia. Australia 168 for 3 in reply to South Africa's 242.
Who's still batting? Who's in?
At the moment we've got Sean Marsh 61 not out, Adam Voges 4 not out, Warner 97.
Oh, wow. So the two
Smith.
Wacker boys at the crease.
Yeah, Smith and Usman Khawaja missing out. Also got the Hong Kong Dragons match starting in 6 minutes against Japan, the all Chinese representative team for Hong Kong. Big game for them
It's a bit
after
of a
they
must-win, isn't it?
went down to South Korea in a bit of a shock result yesterday. Short delivery and smacked out to the fielder, who blended into those kids out the back. I thought that was 4 initially. But great to see the kids coming into the ground here today. There's about 60, 70 school kids coming in from the local schools. Okay. Some of them, I would say, 80% of which will have never seen a game of cricket live before.
No, that's fantastic.
So it's going to be a really good day for them, and I believe the Cricket Hong Kong development staff running a clinic out on the field during the break in play. So it's a good initiative. Get the kids down to the cricket and a little bit of extra atmosphere in the ground too.
Definitely.
So, Hiri Hiri.
Huey Bladen.
Continuing here. So Azaz Khan just bunts that one down the ground to long on. That's what you're looking for, Trev, isn't it?
That's exactly it. It makes batting a lot easier when you do that. So
short delivery, and this time Bubba Hyatt finds the boundary and collects a boundary, and that's his 50.
Played, Bubba.
Well played from...
he literally could have hit that ball anywhere, couldn't he? That was a real rank long hop.
Yeah, that's well played from Bubba. He's been very consistent over the last 12 months. And a much-needed 50 as well. The only batter to kick on.
That's for sure. Well, since I last saw him, I think he must have lost about 10 kilos, and he looks really good. All the boys have got fitness
short
programs
delivery,
now.
and it's got the full treatment. Cameraman not far away from our cameraman up on the roof there.
Right on the roof of the pavilion.
What a shot. And unfortunately, Hiri just guilty of dropping short here and on this slow surface.
For sure. He's very nervous of being hit over the top straight, as we kept talking about, but now he's sort of bowled 2 really bad balls there, which have been dealt with.
Yeah, and Bubba suddenly 58 not out now off 77 deliveries. Hong Kong 199 for 7. Ooh, almost a little single there, but considering Hong Kong at one stage there, 111 for 6. To get to 199 for 7 is a reasonable recovery.
For sure. It's crucial to have someone like Bubba still at the crease. Oh, big shot. Going through the offside, nicked it, no slip, and it's gone for 4. Bit of luck, but I suppose with no slip there, that's a risk he could have taken.
And very big thanks to you, Trevor Penny, for joining us in the commentary box. You can return to your your coaching consultant, is that your title while here with Hong Kong?
Thanks very
Bubba
much.
pushes one out into the covers, but Trevor Penny, sure we'll hear more from you.
Cheers, thanks Max.
The series.
Cheers, bye-bye.
And entering in his place here is one of Hong Kong cricket's major star attractions, Ryan Campbell.
Oh, good morning, Max. Good afternoon, Max. Sorry, I'm a bit late. It's big shoes to fill, Trevor Penny's seat.
Indeed.
It's not a bad recovery from Hong Kong. I quite enthusiastically watching your coverage in my office at Kowloon Cricket Club, and we were motoring along at 2 for 100, and jumped in the cab or the Uber, and to get here, 6 for 111.
Yeah, and that was all down to the introduction of spin.
Yeah, it has turned, and to be honest, I haven't seen it really turn as much as this at Mission Road in the 4.5 years I've been here. So it says to me that anything around the 200 mark is going to be competitive.
It's Asad Vala continuing here, the PNG skipper. I guess from your experience here in Hong Kong, Ryan, it must be a difficult place to assess scores because the wicket might be a 220 wicket, but if someone gets going, the boundaries are short, and a score, a quick 70 or 80 or 40, 50 balls can happen.
Oh, absolutely. It can be lethal. And that's it's Azaz, who's obviously a very good player as well. He's actually been opening the batting for Hong Kong in 4-day cricket as well as Kowloon. So, he's definitely no mug with a bat. But, we always talk about this with the Hong Kong team, that you have to have a batsman in place batting the last 7 to 8 overs. And Bubba Hite's done that beautifully today. And I'm hopefully not going to curse him, but I think if you look into, especially with the Hong Kong side, over and over again, when you look at our 50 over stuff, even T20, tail enders are batting the death overs. And that's no disrespect to tail enders, but they're asked too much of. A set batsman is always going to score faster, and that's just the obvious. But in world cricket, you're always hoping that a top 5 batsman is set and ready to go towards the end there. So, we've hung in there, and hopefully Bubba can cash in towards the end.
You've got a fan here on part of the coverage. We've got Sumit Kumar. Is it Welcome Campbell, the legend of HK cricket?
Don't know about legend. Maybe my own lunchbox, but look. It's a very good strip to bat on, that's for sure. And, the seamers, I think, is going to be when PNG bat. Getting rid of that new ball for Hong Kong is going to be a priority. And again, on the other side of the coin,
you attack.
You absolutely attack. And that's no doubt Papua New Guinea will be thinking that. So and no disrespect to the Papua New Guinea spinners, they've done a very good job. But, when I look at Nadeem Ahmed, Ehsan Khan, Anshuman Rath, they're 3 quality spinners. So, it's if we can get, like I say, 220, 225 and above, it's definitely game on here.
Yeah, from 111 for 6, I think Hong Kong will be pleased to be 208 for 7. One thing that Trevor Penny was noting was hitting straight here was a very important approach to take.
Right, you just have to look at the ground dimensions, and you're rewarded for playing straight, which when you're in the coaching textbooks, all you're trying to do is get your kids and your good players to play straight. So, look, it's an interesting contest. I think Papua New Guinea have been a fantastic team. Their rise through the ranks is a fantastic story, and they'll continue to be prominent in ODI cricket. As just speaking to Greg Campbell, who's an old mate of mine, as a CEO, they've got some great plans in place. So, there's big things to come from this team.
Short fine leg in place. They still pick up 1. Yeah, well, Papua New Guinea been on a similar trajectory to Hong Kong over the past couple of years, and promoted through the ranks as Willie Guevara continues here with his medium paces, just trying to hit that back of a length.
Well, they were very good against Namibia recently, weren't they?
Yeah,
Really played
whitewashed
well. So again, it's different conditions, and you know they only arrived yesterday, so they'll take a little while to get used to the batting conditions. I think as a bowling group, and again, you being a bowler, Max, you'll probably not like me saying this, but let's face it, it's still 22 yards. Bowlers can bowl wherever they want. It's the batters that need to adapt to the conditions a little bit better and a little bit quicker, because you make one mistake, it's all she wrote.
So Bubba Hyatt here has been the mainstay, as you mentioned, for Hong Kong, who's just come on to strike. Now that's Azaz Khan in your picture, but Bubba Hyatt, who'll be on strike for this delivery on 66. He's made 66 relatively comfortably, but I'm not sure if he's looked totally fluent out there from what he can do.
Well, the funny thing was, you know, 3 or 4 overs ago, he was only 44, and he had batted for a long time, and that's something that you're not used to seeing from Bubba. But in saying that, you are starting to get used to it, because he's changing his batting. The responsibility of captaincy has, I think, really sat very well with him. I think even earlier, Nizakat Khan, we saw these guys who are now the senior players in the absence of Jamie Atkinson and Irfan Ahmed, you know, they've stood up. They're starting to stand up. They're starting to understand that they have to bat longer and let the younger fellas play around them.
Oh, a little bit of a mix-up. These two just not taking too many risks, trying to perhaps launch last 3-4 overs. When do they put the foot down here? This is now this is over 43, so 7 to go after this one.
Mate, I just think 7 overs is an eternity. You know, you think about it in a T20 match, you'd be thinking of 70.
Yeah.
You know, so let's not rush. You know, 7 6s are 42. Suddenly we're over 250. That's without even taking a risk. And you know,
You've got to hit 7 6s.
Well, 7 6.
Sorry, I forgot it's easy to hit 6s, Ryan.
I meant dotted ball, mate. Yeah. 7 overs times 6. Did you fail math or what?
I thought you were talking about hitting 6s.
No, come on, Maxi. Let's go. You're not playing at USRC now, mate. We're talking international cricket. 1 a ball. It's so it's 1 a ball, that makes 42, and you know that they're not going to get 1 a ball. In those 42 rocks, they're going to hit a 4 or a 6. So, you know, it's interesting when you hear a guy like MS Dhoni talk about the end of his innings. He literally calculates it down to the final balls. He knows if he faces 25 balls, he'll hit 3 or 4 6s in 25 balls. So, you know, he does the timing from there.
Nice shot from Azaz. Oh, peel there. Almost the unluckiest form of dismissal there in
it's
cricket.
Funny you should mention that, because I actually sort of said that to a couple of the guys in the stands, that you're never going to run Bubba out there because he just doesn't back up, and it really kills me as the batting coach, but he just doesn't back up.
Yeah, he's a laconic character, Bubba Hyatt, and I mentioned earlier in commentary, he can be a bit of a slow starter actually, his first 5-10 balls, which I think is just while he wakes up, Bubba. He's very laid back, cool customer. He won't be feeling any pressure when there's a collapse.
No, and that is the beauty of him. And I know I heard you guys talking earlier. Mate, he's worked so hard. You know, you look at Bubba now. He's fit. He's strong. You know, he really has embraced this professional outfit and has worked really, really hard.
Azaz Khan, surrounded mid-wicket, slightly misjudged, and goes through for 4. Just looked like the fielder thought initially it was going to carry a little further than it did. That one's gone out to the boundary for 4. So Azaz Khan taking a bit of a risk there. Probably wanted to hit it straighter, but sort of pulled it round.
Well, it's just turned a little bit, hasn't it? And that bottom hand came into it and almost holed out there. I'm sure he's trying to hit that a lot straighter. But again, I'm not convinced he needs to be doing that. I think his role is to get Bubba Hyatt on strike. Rotate the strike, get the main man on strike, support him. Because the worst thing that can happen here for Hong Kong is we don't bat 50 overs.
Yep. Saad Vala, the PNG skippers, bowled very well. Oh, he's got that one. It's up in the air. That's
Mate,
going over the fielder at deep square, deep mid-wicket. 6 runs to Azaz Khan. There's the risks.
Of course, he can just do that. Risk and reward, I guess. It's look, that's a very good shot. He's hit that a long, long way back. In fact, the one before was trying to do that, but tried to hit it too straight. Ended up spinning using the bottom hand a little too much, whereas that one, he just absolutely got in and crunched it.
Sadvala.
It's the end of the over, 7 for 221 after 44 overs. But, you know, you look at the scorecards and you look up and you see Azaz Khan is already on 26. You know, of 29 balls, he hasn't even looked in trouble. So he just has to keep his head, hang in there, and make sure that we cash in on these 6 overs.
Yeah, we'll just try and bring up a little replay if we can in time. Looks like they've changed overs pretty quickly here. We'll try and come back to it. Just a single to Baba.
It's good running.
It was a good shot from Azaz Khan in that previous over.
It's good running. Force the field back, and if you take quick singles, there's your one a ball.
So Azaz Khan guides that one down to third man for a single.
Nice. A lot of slow ball starting to be bowled now, which is good bowling from the Papua New Guinea players. The funny thing is, when you talk about ODI cricket with these two countries, they have been playing a lot of cricket. You know, suddenly it's 2-3 years gone by, and these teams are playing more often, and they do know what to do in big situations. And you know, I just think it's fantastic for associate cricket.
And hit through the field there from Bubba Hyde, is it? Going to be cut off just the single. Didn't run particularly hard. But like you say, Cambo, the more cricket is very important. Obviously, PNG have had their World Cricket League matches, but this is an additional fixture, this one. It's not part of the ICC World Cricket League. This is PNG and Cricket Hong Kong coming together and organising a bilateral series to give themselves more cricket.
Which is fantastic. This is, you know, it's what we're after, and you know, and this can't happen without, you know, the ICC funding that we're getting now as ODI teams. Both of us can, you know, afford to come and do these sort of stuff. Because the facts are, if you're not playing good opposition, you're not going to get better. It doesn't matter how much you train. And I know you guys have been talking about the training. It's been fantastic. But until you get out in the middle, it's a whole different kettle of fish. You know, we can talk about batting till the cows come home. But until guys have to go out there in the pressure situation of matches, they aren't going to get better.
Yeah, exactly right. And of course, Hong Kong with ICC World Cricket League matches at the end of this month. Up against Kenya. Of course, those ones do count towards World Cricket League Championship. So these 3 matches here are as good a training as you can get.
Absolutely. And first time, I think it's the first time the lads have been to Kenya. So
yep.
You as the operations manager, I'm sure you'll go on that trip, won't you, Max?
Media manager, yeah.
Always seem to skyrocket in on for the good trips, don't you?
Oh, it's in the out. Just a couple of bounces out to deep square leg where Vani Morea is patrolling the deep mid-wicket boundary. And certainly getting to an interesting stage of this game now. As looks like Norman Vanua coming back into the attack here. He's got 2 overs remaining. The opening bowler for Papua New Guinea, who I was actually thought they bowled pretty smart early on, the PNG opening bowlers. They didn't over-pitch very often. They read the conditions quickly.
Yeah, I thought their length was very good. I thought the dismissal of Chris Carter actually rushed him. Yep. It looked a little bit quicker. It's, you know, he's got a very nice action and has the capacity to bowl that real effort ball. And to me, the dismissal of Chris Carter, that's what appeared to happen. Just rushed him a little bit, wasn't quite in the right position, and feathered one through the wick.
So 5 overs to go here. There's 2 left for Norman Vanua, 2 overs left for the spinner Vala at the other end, who's bowled well, 8 overs, 2 for 36. So they're going to have to find one more over from somewhere else. Their other opening bowler, Chad Soper, has one left, but someone's got to come on for the bowl the last one cold, which is always a little nerve-wracking from a bowler's point of view.
That's why you get paid the big bucks, isn't it, Max?
That's right. Well, that's what PNG, of course, will be hoping it doesn't go that far. They'll want to take these 3 wickets. They've just not been able to finish Hong Kong off here. They've had them 111 for 6, which is now 225 for 7. So that's a significant recovery.
Yeah, well, we've hung in there, and that's a good sign. Like I say, early on, at 2 for 100, we're thinking 280, 290 plus. But again, both sides have had their periods where they've dominated. But in good cricket against two good teams, the opposition have fought back and they've got themselves back in the contest. So right now, 7 for 226, it literally is a 50-50 ball game.
That'll be a wide. Yeah, and of course these last 5 overs, or 6 overs, should I say, this is the 45th over, this one. Sorry, just trying to do my maths here. No, I think we're right, 46 over. So we've got 5 to go. What are we looking at here from Hong Kong?
260. 260 I'll be happy with. I'd take, if you gave me 260 now, take the kids off the ground. Yep. Call the game off.
Or hammered by height, but straight out to Maria on the deep cover boundary. No ball.
Oh, now they're the ones that hurt. Like, as a coach, let me tell you. And that one's not even a front foot. That's that new rule where if you clip the bails off, it's immediately a no ball. And, of course, any no ball now is a free hit. So
it's a harsh
costly,
penalty, isn't it? It's a harsh penalty for
the old days. Make sure you get close to the stumps. Guys like Adam Dale and even Greg Campbell, they'd be in massive trouble.
Well, in the old days, not even a no ball, let alone a no ball and a free hit. But Azaz Khan gets the benefit here because he didn't face, but a single run means... Where's he going to go? You're his coach,
Oh,
Ryan?
he's going onside. He's a very bottom-handed player, so it's definitely going the onside.
Well, straight up in the air, they need to run. Of course, it's a free hit. The catch taken, but just the single.
See, that's good bowling. You can see that he's a very bottom-handed player, and so he stayed wide, outside off stump, and he still was trying to drag it to that onside. So it's a very good piece of bowling. I'll just give a quick compliment. Dagodo Bao, the young wicket-keeper. I think he's been excellent today.
Yeah, very sharp.
He's not very tall lad, which not many of us wickies are, but look, I think he's been outstanding. His glove work's been neat and tidy, and he's taken every chance that I've seen.
Short ball. Cover height. That's a deep square. Yeah, I did notice that, and it's good to see you keeping an eye out on your fellow wicket-keepers.
The brotherhood has to stick together, mate. So, and I was actually talking to Greg Campbell about him. He hasn't played too many games. He's he made a great 80 not out in a big run chase against Namibia. So, he's a young kid who's on the way up as well. And again, it's interesting in these squads. When you have your go-to players, when suddenly there's an injury or someone is unavailable, all of a sudden. You have to call upon your backups, and this is not great news because it looks like Bubba Hyatt's having some issues here with maybe a hamstring. We can only hope that it's...
Reaching at the quad there, I think.
Well, we can only hope that it's cramp because he has had some injury issues this season. He has had some issues with injuries. He's missed a number of matches in the Premier League season because he's had some back issues. So whenever there's a bit of a muscle sort of issue, a lot of times it can be traced back to Bubba's back problems.
Yeah, and I imagine given the World Cricket League matches against Kenya are 2 weeks to... Just over 2 weeks away now. I imagine he won't want to take any risks. Already Mark Chapman and Jamie Atkinson unavailable.
Well, that looks... Sarah, our physio's having a real crack at that, but it looks like he's having groin issues. So, let's face it, no one enjoys those sort of injuries. So might be an interesting scenario here if he continues on or goes off. I know he's a tough man, Bubba, so he won't be wanting to leave the field. But again, with all these new rules that have come in the last 4 to 5 years, no runners anymore, suddenly it all changes. You know, it looks like he's going to stay out there, which is good news. But that is a bit of a worry going forward for Hong Kong, because obviously, like you say, there's another 2 matches in this series, and then the big Kenya series. I know that Jamie Atkinson becomes available on Sunday, so there is probably a ready-made replacement ready for Bubba Hyatt, but we do want all our best players playing.
Yeah, this is the one. And I'm actually surprised, unless it really is not much of an issue that he's got, that he'd be taking any risk at this point. But he is, I guess when you're out there and on 70, you don't really want to come off with 5 overs to go.
Well, I can tell you now, he won't be running too fast from here on, and there could be some heavy swinging going on. Yeah, it is a bit of a concern. Bubba Hyatt has, like we said previously, he's had a few issues this year with back troubles and sore hamstrings and the like. But hopefully all will be okay, because it's a pretty good partnership, an important one for Hong Kong at present. Sitting at 7 for 231. Still a number of overs to go. And again, Azaz Khan doing a pretty good job. Just can't rotate these last couple of balls, which is a bit disappointing.
Well, it's pretty hard to rotate now with Bubba slightly hampered by that groin problem.
Well, yeah, you know, there's no point taking a risk. So you would hope that he's hitting the ball hard to the long fielders, making it a bit easier for Bubba.
Short ball, and well fielded. Good pressure here from PNG. That little break in play, just allowing them to regroup before these last 5 overs. We've got 4 overs to go now. Bubba, is he coming off here, or? I think Coach Simon Cook is telling him to come off, I think.
I think he's, Simon Cook was definitely off his chair there, saying, you know, what's happening. If there's any risk, I don't think you should keep playing. Oh no, just taking the helmet off. Well, there's a distinct limp though there, isn't there? A distinct limp now, which is not good signs.
Maybe he's just said, I'll just try and swing a few boundaries and see what happens. Bubba won't be his worst nightmare, I imagine, although he is captain. I'm sure would want to lead his team, but making some runs and sitting with the feet up in the afternoon. Oh, short ball, bang!
That sounded magnificent.
Well, I think he is going to have a swing, right?
Well, sitting in our little commentary box here, and we're generally watching most of it off the TV, but the sound of that ball once it was hit, I just knew that was going somewhere long and somewhere on a roof. That was a magnificent shot. Poor bowling, to be fair. That's just halfway down at that pace. You can't really be bowling there towards the end of an innings. So, interesting times. Big challenge for the PNG bowlers here.
Short again and in the air. Just falls short.
Well, it's an interesting one too, because it's so straight, so short straight, that if you pitch up, there's every chance if you get it wrong, you sail over the fence. But if you use the longer boundaries here and bowl short, but if you're going to bowl short, you've got to get it up. You can't go halfway down and be hip height. You actually have to be head and above. And hopefully, as that happened there, a little miss hit and brings your boundary riders into play.
Yeah, we saw Scotland do that earlier in the year quite effectively.
Oh, just when I gave him a rap too. That one's got away from the wick. 4 byes, all handy runs for Hong Kong.
Yeah, 242 for 7. Now the score's just crept up here from a situation where it was well, 111 for 6 at one stage, and now 171 for 7. So this partnership now worth 70, and it's come in pretty quick time as well. It's just come at just over 6 and over.
Again, going with that short stuff. That's obviously the plan with deep square, deep mid wicket, deep mid on. You know, like I say, as long as you get the ball up, you can't bowl at hip height, because hip height will clear the rope. Whereas head high gives you a half a chance to bring those long fielders into play. But I think right now Papua New Guinea need to hang tough here. It's just starting to get a little bit untidy. They need to hang tough and hopefully for them pick up a wicket. Chance out, and it works. Bubba Hyatt is the man that holds out to deep square leg. Maria takes the catch, and that wicket that they needed comes.
Yeah, Willie Guevara, his first wicket of the day. They've opted to go with the seamers for the last 4 overs rather than the spin. And, well, I guess he did disappear into the crowd just before, but getting it, it's still an important wicket, even with Bubba incapacitated. If he's in for another 3 overs, that's going to equal more runs. As Hong Kong just looked to get over that 250 mark, which has been slated for most of the day as being a score that they'd want to get.
Yeah, it's, you know...
We think it lower is competitive, but 250, I imagine, is what they were looking for.
When you guys started talking about that figure, though, I don't think we quite knew that it was going to spin as much as it is. So perhaps 250 is a little higher than what, you know, a little better than what we first thought. So, look, that was some fantastic batting. Let's not take anything away from Bubba Hyatt. You know, he came in at 1 for 27, then they were 2 for 27. He set a great platform with Nizakat Khan, steadied the ship, and then sat through a bit of a middle order batting collapse, and then found his way in to bat very, very well and set up this game for Hong Kong, and hopefully a 260 score.
For Paul, Nadeem Ahmed on strike. Batsman didn't cross there, but Nadeem's managed to get that one away for a single. Yeah, Bubba Hyatt, 77 off 95 balls. 4 fours, 4 sixes.
Yeah, some good batting. He's such an important player now for Hong Kong. And it was interesting, that last ball, first ball, the new batsman, fine leg goes back, deep mid wicket comes in, so you know he's going to attack the stumps there. So, you know, these more professional associate teams now, they do their homework, they have a plan. And, you know, as a coach, I'm very big, any plan is better than no plan at all, Maxie. So, you know, as long as they have their theory and they're going to stick to it, then, mate, go for it. Worst thing that can happen in a cricket match is if bowlers are running in and plan A is out the door and they don't have plan B, plan C or plan D, and they literally just bowl, and then that's all sorts of mayhem can go on.
Yeah, agree with you there. Norman Vanua with his last over. 9 overs, 1 for 38 for Norman. Looks like a wide. Oh, that's handy runs for Hong Kong. A bad mistake from the bowler there to send that one down the leg side, and that's 5 runs to the total.
I had put the mocker on bow. I reckon the wicket needs to stop that too. But it's an interesting one because the wicket is not bouncing as much. Sometimes as a wicket keeper, you find yourself in an unfamiliar position of where to stand. And right now, I think he's just a little too far back, to be honest. He needs to be up, making sure that ball's carrying and not being on the first bounce.
It's well fielded. Tony Palaura there, the opening batsman at point.
Looks a fairly solid unit. No doubt we'll be trying to hit the ball hard early.
Looking forward to seeing PNG bat. They were very impressive against Namibia. Chased a couple of good totals. Norman Vanua here continues. This time by Nadeem Ahmed, who has got 1 gear, Ryan, from what I've seen.
Well, Depends when you're listening to him talk, of course. Actually, he thinks he has a 27 gears. But again, Nadeem has also been exposed at the top of the order for his club team. So, all our Hong Kong batsmen, they bat right down to number 10. Tanvir is pretty much a traditional number 11. And I can say that as his batting coach for the national team and his club coach. So, but, like I say, you're hoping that your batsmen are doing all the batting in these games, the top 6, but it is handy when you know that you bat quite deep. We saw Tanvir Afzal, who batted at number 8. Tanvir's batted as high as 5 and 6 in the longer form for us. So, it's a solid batting outfit.
Yeah, Nadeem Ahmed got an important 30-odd against Ireland in the Intercontinental Cup match in Belfast. And against a pretty good Irish attack there. So, certainly no mug. As we can see the school kids in the background there, ready for their clinic during the lunch break.
Great, fantastic. Good to see young kids down at the ground. Should be a big crowd, especially on Sunday. I think there'll be
300 or 400 in on Sunday, I'd suggest. Certainly tickets still on sale through Ticket Flap, the Hong Kong website, or the Cricket Hong Kong Facebook page. You can get your tickets. It's glorious weather. Full ball. Just jammed down for a single. That's the 250 up.
It's funny how the game has changed, though, isn't it, Maxie? When you think about it, I guess in our day.
What's your day, Ryan?
Well, a lot longer ago than you, but you've got 250 in a 50 over match. You think you're in advantage. We were hoping to get 200. We thought we were games on, but obviously with T20 and such high scoring games nowadays, you almost feel you're under clubbing if you're not in the high 280s, 290s, over 300.
Tough one to assess always in Hong Kong because the partnership's so important. If anything, Hong Kong, they've had some in the lower order, but probably not enough significant top order partnerships. It's caught a wide. The bowler, Norman Vanua, not very happy about it.
Well, what it does say is that it's going to be a good contest. A 250 figure is always, Papua New Guinea have to bat well to get it. You need 1 or 2 players to make big scores, and for Hong Kong, it's something to defend. Like I say, I actually think we're in the higher echelon now. The way the ball spun caught my eye, and I'm pretty happy with where we're sitting right now.
Ooh, was that a drop chance there? Cover.
I reckon it was, Maxie. It was, which is surprising because generally they field very, very well, Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, we'll just try and get a replay up of that delivery there, as that's the end of the over. 251 for 8. Gone down. There it is. Hopefully the camera's picked up. It was hit pretty hard.
Well, this is a good angle. Yeah, that's straight up, straight in front of the eyes. Whoa.
So we've got the kids in here at lunchtime today, and you've obviously got quite a few, I imagine, in your programs at Kowloon Cricket Club.
Yes, we're at record numbers at Kowloon, so we're very happy with the way our program is going. Lots of kids, and all loving the game. Good shot. That's a cracking shot. Charged him, bounced, and a no ball. Well, that's interesting.
Oh, what's this one for? They got too many. They don't have enough in the ring, I think. Ryan, I think just the signal there as a fielder moves up in the ring. I think that's for too many outside the ring, which is not a free hit.
That is a free hit, isn't it? Any no ball's a free hit.
Oh, no signal from the umpire.
All right. I thought any no ball was a free hit nowadays. Got to be looking at targeting mid-off here, I think.
Little time from Azaz Khan. Gee, struck the ball very nicely since he's gone in. It's number 9.
Well, again, I think he's one of those ones. We've had our Premier League. We've had 5 matches of Premier League so far for KCC, and he opens the batting. So he's been given a great opportunity. He's batted well. So they're in form. All our players, they've had plenty of opportunity to play cricket.
Volley, just short of the fielder. It's Sardvala, the PNG skipper there, patrolling the mid-wicket region. Thought he might have bowled out. Sardvala, he's keeping things tight. They've gone for the seamers near the end. 257 for 8 here at the moment, with 1 over to come after this. So from 111 for 6, Hong Kong have done very well to recover.
Nice slow ball. Good piece of wicket keeping. Oh, could have been out too. Little run out opportunity. Just misses the stumps.
And the 21 overs, 140 runs for 2 wickets since being 111 for 6. So it's a pretty fair recovery.
Lots of slow balls out of the back of the hand. That like the old Ian Harvey.
Always
slow
tough
ball.
to control that one. It's a difficult art, that slower ball out the back of the hand.
It is.
Takes a lot of practice.
It's actually interesting listening to Simon Cook, who's the national coach, but obviously was a fantastic bowler. He's saying that nowadays it's probably not even good enough to only have one slower ball in your arsenal as a fast bowler. You actually got to look for one or maybe two. There's another short ball, just because batsmen are looking for that change-up. And so if you can have it out of the back of the hand or the split finger or an off spinner or something a little bit different, but you just have to keep changing up all the time, especially on flat wickets.
Exactly. Ryan Campbell, here, head coach of Kowloon Cricket Club. Max up here in the commentary box. As a former player and batsman yourself, how hard is it to adjust to a slower ball as a batter, picking it and reacting?
Well, it is quite tough because you're expecting a certain speed. That's a good hit. Or is it? It is. It's going to be one bounce. I thought for a minute that there was deep mid-wicket out there, but they've changed their tactics to Nadeem compared to Azaz, where they're trying to bowl short to him. They're pitching it a little bit up. Fine leg had gone back. So that's a handy boundary for Hong Kong. And that score, 258 for 8.
262 with that boundary.
262 for 8. Like I say, I felt that at 250, it's advantage Hong Kong now. It's just adding a little bit more. So suddenly 270, mate, that's a good run chase in anyone's book.
Yeah. So as you're saying, those slow balls, you find it, like especially if you're facing someone like a Brett Lee at 150, I mean, suddenly have it at 110, 120.
Well, that's the thing. It's sort of you're setting yourself up towards an end of an innings. You are setting yourself up to be in a solid position and to swing through the line, and you're basically setting yourself up for a certain pace. You're obviously watching the hand and trying to watch the ball as closely as you can. But the facts are, if you bowl a slow ball, some of these guys actually bowl it too slow. So then you can readjust. It's the ones that are just subtle enough to just put a bit of thought into your stroke, so to speak. The cutters. Azaz Khan, for instance, we've had this conversation at Kowloon. His slow ball is actually too slow. It's an out-of-the-back one, and you can actually adjust yourself and then reassess and hit it. So it's just those cutters, just the subtleties are the best ones.
Looks like Chad Soper here to bowl the last over of the innings. No looseners allowed here.
No, you got that one not bad, although, again, that was almost length. So I'm assuming, as a wicketkeeper, not a fast bowler, but you as a bowler, Maxie, you got to have a plan here. It's either hit the base of the stumps.
Yeah. I still think Yorkers. Looks like he's gone the cutters up in the air and taken just off the deck there, out in the deep. That is some distance from our commentary position, but a good catch taken out in the outfield there, and Chad Soper picks up his second wicket. And Nadeem Ahmed, of course, in the final overs, looking to try and clear the fence.
Well, there you go. That looked like a cutter for sure. Definitely a change of pace. As we have a look at there, he's run his fingers across the seam. It's almost gone like an off spinner, and just puts the batsman off a little bit. Doesn't quite get the timing. Good catch, well picked up, and it's the ninth wicket for Hong Kong. But again, I think this bowling at the death, it's one of those things. I think we talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, but mate, 6 Yorkers are still 6 Yorkers. And when you look at T20, if I'm in charge of a franchise, I pay $1 million for someone who can deliver 6 out of 6 Yorkers. Malinga's probably one of the few that's been able to do it. There's been a couple of fast bowlers.
Pretty good.
Stark is very good, but in general, bowlers still don't quite get it right, I don't think.
4 balls to go. Importantly, the batsman cross, getting Azaz Khan on strike. Oh, and he goes big.
That's big. That's goodbye.
Down onto the big grandstand down there at Deep Long On. Mentioned earlier, request for the local government for a grandstand, and they delivered down there at Long On.
Well, you don't want to get injured on the top bleachers, mate.
No, it's a 1 foot fall down to the bottom.
It's a good shot, though. He picked up the subtle change of pace, and he's batted very well, Azaz Khan. 44 not out.
We bowled him. It's end of the innings. But a good knock nonetheless from Azaz Khan there, which comes to an end on 44, and Hong Kong all out for 269.
Yeah, good innings. Like, he batted very well, came in late in the innings and hit the ball nice and crisply. Had a good partnership with Bubba Hyatt and then carried on. And 269, 270 to win for Papua New Guinea. It's going to be a fantastic run chase. I think, like I say, I thought 250 was the pass score. Now, perhaps even high pass score. 270 now, I would say advantage Hong Kong, batting first. So what it does give us, Maxie, is going to be a very, very good afternoon of cricket in blazing sunshine, which is very rare for us to say this year in
every
Hong Kong.
time there's a cricket game on. Here in Hong Kong, we've had a bit of bad weather, at least circling us, but absolute clear skies and predicted to be so for the rest of the series. Just quickly run through the scorecard for the innings there. Chris Carter opening the innings, got a good ball from Norman Vanua, 16 off 18 deliveries. Kinshit Shah bowled by Chad Soper for 9. Nazakat Khan looked good, 45 off 64 before a terrific delivery from Dai. Took out his off stump with a ball that turned through the gate. Anshman Rath didn't see the best of him today, out for 1. Shahid Wasif 2. Bubba Hyatt was the mainstay of the innings. He was made 77. Hassan Khan, a little bit unlucky to be just missed first ball for naught. And the lower order, important contributions there with Tam Virafsal, 47 off just 32 balls. And Azaz Khan, that important contribution of 44 near the end. And for PNG, Rule the die with 3 for 58 off 10 overs. Took the important wickets in that Hong Kong collapse. And Asad Vala, 2 for 36. And Chad Soper picked up 2 wickets in that last over and ended up with 3 for.
Yeah, fantastic performance in the end from Hong Kong. Like I say, both teams would have thought at certain parts of their innings that they were on top of the match. Hong Kong, for instance, they started well, lost a couple of wickets, and a very good partnership between Nizakat Khan and Bubba Hyatt put them on a platform. But then Papua New Guinea, they jumped, they clawed their way back into it. They picked up 4 quick wickets. But then towards the end, some lower order batting from Hong Kong has seen them to a pretty good score as the kids come onto the ground, and that's a pretty good sight to see here in Hong Kong.
Yep.
They'll be having fun. They'll be enjoying themselves over the next 40 minutes while you, I'm sure, will tuck into your lunch, Maxie.
That's right. So do join us back here in 40 minutes. The kids will be on the screen for a while, but us as commentators will be back in about 40 minutes where Papua New Guinea will require 270 runs to win. We'll see you in 40 minutes.